come out. 2nd and 6, 2 tight ends on the right-hand side. They're going to run that direction. Some good blocks by those tight ends. And a great stiff arm right there. He's going to get into the open field. 20, 15, stiff arm at the 10 to the 5. Brought down about the 4-yard line. 51.
2nd and long. They'll go play action here. King steps back, fires down the sideline. Wide open. Macias to the 5 to the end zone. Touchdown, tie.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Around the CFSL podcast brought to you by myself and Kaleb. We spent a majority of last week yapping about ourselves, but now we get to yap about somebody else. As we have Austen, also known as Austen.
Or Austen, yeah.
Drake Kirby, RC for the Tennessee Volunteers. Your 2nd year in the league, right?
Yeah, second season.
Well, we can't yap about ourselves, so let's yap about you. Like, how did you find the league? Just tell everybody about yourself a little bit more.
Yeah, so I found the league. I actually searched up almost exactly what the league was called. I was like college football sim leagues or something similar to that. And it was literally like the first thing that popped up. And I really enjoyed like the simulation part of like, like I always played franchise mode or dynasty or whatever it was. So I'm a big numbers guy. So when I found it, I joined the league and it was in the middle of season 24. So I was more of just a fan the first half a season. And then I made Drake Kirby, and going into the 25 season, I got drafted by Tennessee.
Oh, yeah, that's right. You were in the draft.
Yeah.
I have so many questions there, dog. I can't.
Oh, yeah. No, we actually can talk about that too. I completely forgot.
Okay.
Yeah, I was thinking about. I was stirring up questions about that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's do that. But yeah, so I got drafted by Ware.
Yeah.
I like almost immediately upgraded to 4-star. So for 2 reasons: one, just so I could be better; two, so I could be in the newcomer games. And then so yeah, I did that. Played decent my first year. We were a very run heavy team, but yeah, that's basically how I got started and what I've been doing. Oh, and I became an RC recently. It would have been probably week 5, week 6, if I remember correctly, of last season.
So, what was your first recruiting cycle like? Because I know, Kaleb, this was your 2nd, right?
This was my 2nd.
Yeah, and I think this is like my 4th. I've heard different things from everybody I've talked to. How do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it?
I liked it, and to be fair, I had a lot of help. Johnny is the best HC. No hits on anybody else, but Johnny's the best HC.
Hey, Kaleb will tell you himself. Johnny is the GOAT. We said it all last week.
Johnny is deadass the only one I will accept answers for being better. Only one I accept people saying.
Johnny, and then obviously David. They're 2 great coaches. So let's say I got I was helped a lot, so it was easier to take the load off me. But I guess I got more confident as it went by. And I think there was a couple guys where I felt like I really pushed hard to get those guys, but overall it was really, really fun.
I love everyone's different answers because there's people who are like you who liked it and all that. I enjoyed it even though we weren't successful. I know people like, not to say we weren't successful last year. We didn't land a recruit.
Oh, last year. Okay.
I said last year.
Okay.
I said last year.
Never mind.
Like, I know, not shout out Virak and Schoolboy, who were outstanding, I will say.
They were drafted, though, right? Last year?
But they had their first cycle this year.
Oh, yeah, right.
Who absolutely hated every second of it. But
fair enough.
More power.
I will say, next year you'll like it even more because you start to get a feel of how to process. Like
Yeah.
knowing what it's supposed to be like is so much better on the other side. I've been recruited a lot as a player. Not to toot my own horn, but I've had some solid players.
Yeah.
Not
Not to
to
toot
And
my own horn.
I said
another
solid.
another thing for me is like, I had never been recruited myself, so I didn't even know what I
Yep.
was getting myself into with what. So I needed help with like a mock, almost like a mock,
Mhm.
like what it would be like because I got drafted, so I really don't know what it's like to get, people texting you like, "Hey, won't you come to the team?" So
Yeah.
yeah, I went at it blindly, but like I said, a lot of help went into,
So
making that successful.
I want to focus on the draft.
Okay, let's focus on it.
How
Yeah.
was that experience? I've never entered the draft. My draft experience is on the complete opposite side of just stalking people for the draft. I will proudly say that I stalk a lot of people. You were one of the people I stalked. I will confirm.
That's fair. I mean, I looked actually, dude, I didn't realize how many messages I had sent before the draft.
Yeah, yeah. I know. I think I sent the message. And we ended up talking Vivac. I'm like, Vivac has like a good 200 something messages in this time span, which is second because the nuthead ahead of him has triple the messages.
Okay, so yeah, I had a lot of messages. Yeah, but honestly, with what wide receiver was, I really didn't think that I'd get picked very high. Just because it's not the biggest necessity for a lot of teams, and I knew that. And guys like Vyrak and stuff were definitely up there and had the positions that are more needed. But I assumed I was going to be in the upper half at least of the
Yeah.
of the picks.
I will say, like, so obviously they got rid of fan of the year, but when before that was like ever known, I was like, there's two guys that came in this season that are gonna be on that list, and it was you and BF4X.
Yeah,
Yeah,
And
yeah, and
like
obviously
to
I
be
know there's like a new criteria for MVM and all
was
that
yeah.
stuff. I don't know exactly what it is. I think it's like I don't know. I don't know. Like
I don't
that
know what the footy is.
yeah, all I know is like he was sending hella bits. Like he probably has like the most bits sent uh probably on the channel, period. I
yeah,
mean, like he was in gifted sub wars with Tom, and Tom's got fuck you money. I was
But
gonna say like I don't know if y'all saw Tom last Tuesday, but he was dropping 25 gifted subs.
oh my god, I
dude.
respected that.
I will say, Stacy Smith has been keeping me with the subscriptions because she keeps gifting them.
I was like, hey, I love this community because I know I'll never have to watch some damn ads. I don't
Yes,
care if I'm
I have
paying
Twitch
for it or if someone
Turbo.
else is doing it for me.
I still think one of my favorite moments was there was a game last season. I was in the booth, and normally, and Valente knows this, when Frosty types in chat, half the time it's just a Twitch update or something because
Hmm.
he doesn't want to, distract us.
Yeah.
Frosty hits in
yeah,
the chat, "Yo, Caleb just got gifted a sub on Twitch."
No, the funny thing is that we're over on YouTube, right? We're on YouTube, and I don't get, I don't get it, but Frosty just felt the need to drop that in there.
It was hilarious, dog.
It's like
dude.
if we were on YouTube or if we were on Twitch, it probably wouldn't have been as hilarious. It felt like more informative. It just felt like whenever Frosty's not putting in Twitch updates, he's trying to crack you a little bit.
Oh my dude, he tried to get more. It's the amount of times. So we had Florida Penn State last year.
Right.
Yeah.
It was Murph and I. And at that point, Penn State had gone to back-to-back overtime games. Frosty before the game, I can't deal with another overtime. I can't deal with another overtime. Lo and behold, Florida has the ball 1 minute left, down 3.
Did
and
Frosty
Murph
say
and I
anything
just
whenever overtime started?
No, they didn't go to overtime, so they didn't end up going to overtime.
Oh.
But Avery call was, Florida may not be playing to win the game right now. They may be playing to force overtime, and I think they have a good chance. And Frosty says, "Stop it right now! Stop it! No, I don't need overtime." Every time Murph and I would mention overtime, Frosty was in there. And then we don't pick on people for dropping picks. Oh, Murph and I both had a mutual agreement. If it was Barry Graves, we going.
Congrats.
Congrats on the drop.
Hey, you dropped a pick, by the way. Hey, Frosty, you dropped a pick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
it was. But I gotta know. Did you enjoy being in the draft
as a player?
Yeah,
as a player?
actually, I think I haven't been recruited myself, but like not picking, I guess was I like the randomness of like ending up on the team, and I got very lucky to be on Tennessee, a team that's
Really
very well ran and very good, and especially with the class that we just had, I feel like we got better. And
Yep.
knowing
Absolutely.
I can tell you about being recruited. Being recruited is fun except for one part. Telling teams you're not interested in them anymore. That's the you probably felt that as a coach getting those messages. That's the hardest message. If you ask your AD, he will swear up and down I do not like him because I always have said no to him. I am too. Both of my players I've declined going there, and he swears I don't like him because of it.
Kaleb, I hope you know if you weren't one of my best friends, I would probably think you hate me.
Oh, so many ADs. Well, because Rare's never cracked the top. The only time Alabama's cracked the top 3 for me was after Rare retired. Rare retired with Keller. They were in my top 3.
Oh wait, you weren't even in the portal when I got there. I was about to say you were at Notre Dame still.
Yeah, I was at Notre. Yeah, but that's my weird recruiting cycle where stuff fell. So it was Bama ended up in my top 3. And it was after Rare graduated, and I think Rare got salty seeing that they finally made a top 3 the moment he retired.
What's funny is I said, like, before the draft, I was like, man, I'd really like to go to an SEC team. I did end up going to an SEC team. Now we're not even in the SEC, so
sorry.
So, I can confirm. I can say this now. You were on our first pick radar that year. You were one of the final 3 names.
Look, we were picking at 9, I think. I was like, all right, Kaleb, y'all are ahead of me. I obviously can't steal anything from you. You can steal everything from me. What are you looking at? What are you guys looking at? I think I even asked Wookie to him, like, hey, do me a solid. What position are you looking at least? And they were like, receiver, safety. And then I already knew who both of them were. It was you and Virak.
right.
And they ended up taking Virak, which, I think either way they would have went that day, it works out really good for him.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but I think positionally, Virak is, the better choice. Like I was saying earlier.
Genuinely what it was is we just didn't have a great safety. We had Banks still, but Banks was entering his senior year and he was like a high 70. Like if we're gonna take a swing on someone becoming a monster, we need a safety.
Right.
And that's like, that's the big
thing. And he was the most active safety. He was the most active defensive player.
And that obviously ended up coming into fruition with him being a 5-star now, and him.
He's a 99.
We'll talk about his stats later, but
yeah.
You were on our board too, but it wasn't like So I will say, your activity for me made you stand out as a round 1 pick, but the need is what set you back on my board, because of course we had. My player, Mateo, we had Jay and Deshaun Johnson. We had 3 99 overall receivers. It's like, okay, I could have brought you in as the 4th, but then again, we already had a 4, and you could have went back and forth with him. But also at the same time, seeing what you've done now, I think there was no better place for you to be. Because if
Yeah,
I would have drafted
exactly.
you, it would have been like, what the hell? Like you're really good receiver at wide receiver 4. It's like not only is that a little overkill, it's also like I'm not doing you justice either. So like you ended up in the
Yeah.
right spot.
And that's exactly what I was thinking. Like I I think that the place that I ended up, one for the coaching staff, two for like actual positional needs. Like wide receiver wasn't the biggest need, obviously, with Pete Ware moving from West Virginia, right?
Yes,
Yep.
West
Yeah,
Virginia.
West Virginia to Tennessee. So we had obviously our big guy, but for me to move into that, two spot or 2-3 spot starting, and then now for sure two spot, like that was, I think that's exactly where I needed to be.
Yeah, I agree. As much as I would have loved to have you, I felt like like my goal. Obviously, I want to win, but my goal is to try and create the best experience for everyone possible. I feel like having someone as good as you not playing a lot would kind of mess up the vibe, knowing you could have went elsewhere and you didn't really have a choice.
Yeah,
So I was like, yeah, he'd be cool because you were super active. Like you were undoubtedly the most active person in that draft.
yeah, yeah.
So, for context, I just went back and looked. Before the draft, Austin, you want to guess how many messages you had before the draft? Day. Not even day of the draft, before the draft. Draft was on the 19th, from the 18th and before. How many messages do you think you had?
Is it? I will ask. Is it 4 or 3 digits?
That I'm not telling you.
Dang it! It's 1,098.
You were damn close. It's 1,032.
Oh, dang.
For
Well,
example, let's put it this
that's
way.
insane.
Other than Moochie, right? Because Moochie was coming back and we can't really count him. This year, I think the most active guy was Lino, who went to Texas A&M.
Yes.
He had 300.
Yeah. Vivac was like 400.
Yeah. So like, y'all
There
are
were
insane.
levels to this game.
Yeah,
Y'all are
yeah.
insane.
There's definitely levels, bro.
Here,
Yeah, no, that.
like, here's what I don't get sometimes. People are like, "Oh, I don't have time." I'm like, "Yeah, a lot of people don't." But when you love something, when you like something, you will find a way to squeeze it into your free time.
Look, I
Right.
also, and I stand by this, especially, and if there's any 3 stars or future 3 stars, AD's just care that you're around. Like, not even active.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, if you
Yeah.
send 2 messages a day, that's gonna jump your stuff. Like, just even you pop in and say hi every day.
Hey, look, you
Yeah.
pick up the phone to text the homies at least once a day. I already know, right?
Yeah.
Just peek in, say
Yeah.
what's up,
Not
let us know you're here. It goes a
Yeah, not
long
everyone
way.
has to send a million messages a day. It
Yeah.
really is like it really is. And honestly, even if you're active every day, but like instead of being active a lot one day and then not being active the rest, if you're active daily or over
Yeah.
a number of days, I feel like that's better. You
I was
know?
gonna say
Yeah.
we really looked at how active were you really.
Yeah.
Like, there were guys with less messages we had higher on our boards because if we removed like one day, that message total dropped by like. There was one guy
Absolutely.
who was 100 messages difference between removing one day.
I
Yeah.
saw
What the
there
hell
was a
did you just
guy
toss?
A piece of paper.
there's a guy he had I think 220 total messages. If you took out draft day, he had 3.
Yep, yep, that's exactly who I was referring to. It's
Yeah.
exactly who I was thinking of when I said this.
Uh,
Shout out, Myth. By the way, that's who it was. It was a defensive
Uh,
tackle named Myth.
I got you.
Dog. I'm Mel Kiper with this shit.
I was gonna say,
Don't play
I
with
was
me.
gonna say, let me ask you guys after, because I was gonna say, I think we all know who we're talking about,
Oh, I will shout
but
him out. No, because he was lit. He's a cool dude.
I was gonna say it sounded like slander. I'm like, should I wait to ask till
No,
after?
Oh, no,
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 because
no,
it's
no.
activity. It's activity
Right.
still.
But also a lot of people like they don't talk, but they're really paying attention to all the announcements. And I don't remember who I think it was Rusty. Rusty's on my team now. Rusty didn't say a lot until
Yeah.
draft day.
No,
And
Yeah,
and
we
that
have
shit that
one
shit
of those guys as
matters.
well.
Yeah.
Cole was active in the Twitch chat and we picked him.
Right.
Safety wasn't our biggest need, but we're like, he's active.
Yeah.
We want
yeah,
activity.
Especially on like live streams, like I feel like that's almost
yeah.
even more important than Discord because then it
Right.
shows you're gonna be there when the things are happening.
I was
Right.
gonna
Like
say
you're
we want to go
seeing
back to
everything
back
go
in Team
down at
Spear.
least. Not if I have anything to say about it. By the way, all credit to Notre Dame. I just gotta say this right now. Because look, we're gonna be fighting this entire episode just because we play this week, but I gotta give it to y'all. Out of all the teams on that list for Team Spirit, did not think that y'all had the chance at all.
Oh, I didn't either.
Look, here's the
I
thing.
thought
It's all about your locker room, right? If we sent 20 guys to go vote for that, we were probably gonna win that. I don't know how many people voted for us. I don't know how many people voted for Texas. I don't know how many people voted for Clemson. But it's all about whose locker room runs the most deep and who doesn't get pissed off at your guys. So that's why I knew Texas was going to win because everybody hates Texas. It's not look.
so.
And
I
I know a
think
lot of people hate to say that. People don't hate Texas because of Texas. People hate Texas because some of the people associated with Texas and some of the things they do. I love them. I came from there. Flash, my guy. I've told him 100 times. I'm like, I know you're doing this just to get a rise out of people and to raise the competition. But a lot of people don't see that like I do. And that's exactly why everybody loves to hate on Texas.
like
Yeah.
I think a huge reason, I will say this now, that will well after, and I am unbiased on here until pickup. We won was the turnaround and the culture. Like, and I preached it in recruiting last year. You don't rebuild a team, and if you're rebuilding a team now, I take notes. I think this is why we became really good now. It's not about getting the right players; it's getting the right people.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, end of the day, you are gonna get you don't get buy-in from winning. You get buy-in from your culture.
We have
And
a question that's going to play perfectly to what you just said, by the way.
yes, I know. I've just thought about that. And
Yeah.
you get that buy-in from bringing the right culture.
Mm-hmm.
Like, Boy talked about it. He's like, I don't know how y'all got me to do what I did. He was planning to be a 3-star for life, and now he's a 5-star.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that's just what we have built. And that's what made us be able to rebuild and do all this is literally you need the culture before you can win. Winning doesn't bring the culture brings winning.
Yep. Exactly.
Yeah.
And like, this is
Put that on
something,
a quote.
put it on a shirt. I got the Saints
Put
on
it
a
on a
shirt right
shirt.
now. Clearly, they
Yeah,
don't got culture.
we won't speak on that.
You're a Falcons fan, aren't you?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, okay. This is my favorite guest, by the way. I'll tell
Yeah.
you the lore that afterwards, Austin.
Yeah, we can just move on to the
There's
next
some
thing.
I'll
there's
give
some
you a
lore. Let's
pass.
get.
I'll give you a pass. I like
You
you.
ready to
I'll give you a
recap?
pass.
Ready to recap the
Look,
week?
my quarterback's like a Falcons fan, right? Jordan, QB1, Cooper King, Piss Missile King is a Falcons fan.
See, there's a reason why he's so good, bro. He's got a right head on his shoulders.
I can't fall for it. We gotta move. All right. All right. So now that we've introduced Austen and yapped about the draft. Also, okay, now I want one more question. What do you prefer, being a part of the draft as a player or being a part of the draft as a coach?
It's a lot easier on me as a player because honestly,
I've I've always said if I ever step down, which I don't plan to anytime soon. By the way, if anyone's watching this and they're like, "Oh, Valente step," no,
I couldn't go to the draft. I don't think.
no. I love recruiting. Don't get me wrong, but I hate telling people no. I would rather be told no. I'm a lot better at receiving no because I think I'm a better sport about it than some people can be. And that's not a shot at anybody, but at the same time, people are moving. And if you wait so long to the point and then you have to tell them, some people get salty about it. And it's rightfully so. You're competing with a bunch of other people. I hate telling people no, number one. and the draft would be so much easier. I'm like, I'm gonna go in as a 3-star. I'm not gonna say a fucking word. I'm gonna let somebody pick me up, and I'm going straight to 99. And
I think you're too well known. Those the issue.
The
Like
the
I
thing I
will
would
stand
say.
by
Oh,
this.
sorry.
Go ahead, Austin.
I was gonna say the thing I would be worried about if I was getting recruited is what if I pick the wrong choice? Like imagine I'm choosing between two teams. I pick one team, the other team wins national championship. You know, the next few years, and then you're like, all
Hey,
right, well, whoops.
so I can confirm, but my play on my final two was Notre Dame and Texas. One of those teams went 0-8. The other team won the Natty.
Okay, so you know exactly what this is like.
I
Uh,
I quite literally went through that.
Well, hold on.
Once the
Let's say let me ask you this: would you have it any other way?
no.
Exactly.
With that being said,
and
no, I would.
yeah,
I love my experience at Notre Dame. I'm not gonna compliment the AD in case he watches this and he messages me. Oh, you do love me, because he would totally do that.
I told him I loved him this week.
I can't. He says that too much to me. He's like, "Oh, you do care for me." I'm like, "I'm leaving now."
He's like, this is my official notice for transfer. All right. Anyway, on to recapping the week. I want to start at let's just start at Tuesday. Tuesday.
As you say,
let's do it. Let's
All
do
right.
it.
Tuesday night, we had. Oh, okay, that doesn't want to load. Tuesday night we had USC and Auburn kicked off. This is where we thought we were getting clipped, and then Michigan State TCU on YouTube at the same time.
That's where I
Uh,
got clipped.
yeah. So me and Caleb, we both went the losing
you're gonna
choices
miss.
here.
Yeah,
For both games.
Mm-hmm.
for both games.
Oh well, get funny enough. Me too.
Yeah, I was
Uh,
just I
yeah,
swung and missed.
Yeah.
yeah. Actually, speaking of Survivor, guess who picked MSU for Survivor? Oh, yeah, me.
Nice,
Um,
nice.
I
I forgot to
really
make
don't
my
remember
pick.
who I picked. I don't remember. I'm gonna have to wait till the next week comes out, or till this week comes out, and just hope and pray it wasn't. I think it was Georgia. I think I picked Georgia, but
Georgia's,
I don't remember.
you know, I would say that's a great pick, but then you see how the game played, and you're like, you might be
Right.
clinching. You
Hey,
might
they
be
won. I
clinching.
don't care if they won by 1 or 100. They won.
I did not.
Move
I
on.
will tell you, I did not see that game going. Like we'll talk about it when we get there. That's not how I
Yeah,
saw that
yeah,
game going.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Any thoughts on Michigan TCU, USC Auburn?
I have thoughts on Michigan State TCU. I I'll be the first one to say maybe the QB what do you call it, battle of the century.
Oh yeah,
Now
yeah,
that they played two totally different games. Dre like being able to run, for 120 yards and throw for 3 touchdowns, and then Declan being Declan Murphy.
of course.
Just
Yep.
just like that was insane to watch, especially Dre was an unknown quantity as a freshman, but that was impressive for both teams.
Yeah. I was really excited to see that game specifically, just because for one, it's two returning teams. And two, Nick is my guy. FTW, the AD of Michigan State. That's my dog. Even though, like, here's the thing, I would love to claim him as a part of my tree, and I know it technically works that way. He's not my guy. Like, I didn't like, sure, I helped him like get the final bit to get across, but I don't think I can claim him under my tree. I feel like that's a Ware guy, because Ware started with him first. He spent time under Ware's guy, Keller, and then finally me. And then even then, he was a coach for Illinois and Michigan State back when they were here originally. So I was really excited to see how he did things, because when I first got to Bama, I was like, he's the first person I texted. I said, look, bro, first of all, your player is great, but screw your player. Like, you as an AHC, I want to keep you here. Like, because I played against him once, and it was before I was a coach. I believe it was season 23 or season 20. I think it was season 23. And Nikolai Storm's the GOAT, right? 2-time All-American. When I got there, he was 2-time All-American. He just got off a Defense Player of the Year candidacy. I'm like, let's bring him in. I'm like, I want to keep him here. There was 2 people specifically that I wanted to keep, and it was Jay and Nikolai Storm. So they both agreed to stay. I was so excited to have them, but Nick actually taught me a lot of things because I've spent a lot of time under Ryan's system. Now, where I think that all of these newer guys have a chance to succeed is because they've seen other systems. It's not just one. I predicted that Michigan State was going to win that game.
Yep.
I was wrong, but based off of like all of what I knew about Nick alone, he's a monster, right? And I genuinely think that if you run that game 10 times, there's 5 for Michigan State, 5 for TCU. That's a coin flip every time.
Yeah.
I just picked the wrong side.
I do want to shout out both the quarterbacks in that game, though.
Absolutely.
Both balled
Yeah.
out.
Absolutely balled out. And honestly, the reason I picked Michigan State was I just felt like TCU was such an unknown quality coming in as they were Nebraska, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, they lose their quarterback. And they're not that they were an amazing team last year, no hate or anything, but just they weren't great. And then, the other team is Iowa. You take Iowa over Nebraska last year. I feel like
I was gonna say my pick was full on just what the base roster was.
Yeah.
Is
like,
Iowa's that MSU's roster walking in was just better.
mhm.
That
and
ended up
that's a
being my
credit
deciding
to
pick.
that's a credit to D too, because you got to think about it.
Absolutely.
I don't know how
Absolutely.
much better they were. I didn't like bother to ask or look at all. But
I did not look. I'm gonna look at TCU when we play TCU. Is what
yeah,
I saw on the protein.
but what I was like, if he could do that to like, just think of it from Nebraska and Iowa. If he could do that to what Iowa was, he could do that to just about anybody.
Absolutely.
And that's scary. That is really scary. And I didn't even think about this last week. Or I thought about it, but I kept it back there because I didn't think it was like that deep. But this was Tom's guy, y'all. This was Grin's guy.
Yeah.
Like, I don't remember the last guy to come from the Grin tree, but I can guarantee you he's probably doing really good right now.
I'm looking.
But either way, I talked to D a little bit too. I congratulated him. Did not expect him to win that game by any means. I thought they were just not in the spot. But yeah. And then USC and Auburn. We knew that was going to be back and forth. I already know that Jay is going to clip us. It was the battle of who clips us, Jay or Horns. We haven't been clipped yet. So if Jay's watching this, I'm sure he'll go back and find last week when we did that.
And I can be the voice of reason for the USC picks. One, Bo Mayweather, reigning OPOY. Number 2, USC literally took this win last year, not including the amazing recruiting class they had this last. Like, on paper, this just feels like it should be a win,
Yeah.
But
And
that's why the paper doesn't matter, because
yeah.
and stuff like this happens.
And that's a lot of what we have to go off of in week 1 is like there's nothing to look at from before. Everybody's in a different playbook. Some are even in different schemes. Like, for example, we're in pro style now. We were spread last season. I think y'all went from multiple to pro. No, not pro. Y'all went from multiple to
I don't remember what you
or
guys
air raid?
looking. Yeah, air raid. I think air raid. I'll double check real quick.
Yeah, so like teams are in different schemes now. Like, there's nothing to go off of. Rosters look completely different. You kind of just think back to what it was last season. Did they refill in the right spots? And like, I guess net positive and net negative as well. I just thought USC looked better, but
It,
Auburn,
so,
man, Beard, damn it,
and you
Beard.
know what?
So
What's crazy is I'm looking back at last year, when they played USC. He played a better game last year than he played this game. Their quarterback Zacchaeus Mosley. He played a
yeah,
worse game, and he, just
Yeah,
you know, an
I
all
think
around team win.
I think they have a lot better receiving talent this year because I'm not just saying that because they got Jay, but they got. Oh my God, do they have three
I mean,
J's?
They have
do they?
JJ. They have JJ Jax, JJ Jones.
Damn.
Caleb, it's pray to
Yeah.
the Lord that we never call an Auburn game.
Why? Oh my God, we will flip so many names.
JJ, Jax. No, bro. I can't do this. I can't do this.
No. Shout out Auburn. Shout
Yeah.
out Beard.
Shout out Beard. I hate Auburn. Love Beard.
Oh, so for context, for the other only other active AD who directly came from Grin, I'm not going to use his whole tree because if you want me to go whole tree, the
We'll
tree
be
goes
here.
deep.
Yeah. The
Just
last
off
one before
Grin
D.
would have been the only other one active is Ike.
Ike's doing really
Right.
good.
Ike's doing good. Assured and Simi Rage are the other two we know.
I don't think I was here when
We
Simi
weren't
was
around for
still
Semi
here.
Rage,
I was like, because
but we at least know him.
Simi was on our team last. I can't remember his player name, but he was on Texas. I know he's Quincy Asher now. By the way, you're sideways.
Whoops. Hold
He's
on.
Quincy Asher now, but I think before he was
There you go.
Kakoa Rivers.
There we go.
Was he Kakoa Rivers or was he?
And
I think he was Kakoa
so
Rivers.
if we want to go full tree of just anyone who came off of the Grinch coaching tree,
Name it.
you include some heavy hitters like Retzel, like Beard, like Controller, and Cade. That's just overall tree.
Yeah, but directly from
And Rob,
him.
and Rob. Directly from him.
Because I know
show
Wetzel and Rob came from Beard. I remember that.
Wetzel and Rob came from Beard. Controller came from Measy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so
Cade from Mike.
Yeah. His tree is deep, but the guys directly from him still doing really good.
Oh yeah.
Ready
to go next 2 games then?
Yeah. So capping off Tuesday night, it was Oregon and Texas and Notre Dame at Ohio State. Caleb, keep your mouth shut. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Damn.
So Caleb, keep your mouth shut. All right.
Let's
Let's start off with Texas and Oregon because I know you could yap about Notre Dame forever. Oregon entered that game a lot better than I thought they would have. However, they finished a lot worse than I thought they would have. I thought they were going to keep it close. It's always week one, or it's always in week one when you see a team that, first of all, Oregon's good, but I don't think Oregon's roster is up to the level of where Texas is at right now.
No.
I will say I was shocked at that week one matchup.
Yeah, but also at the same time, like, we played Michigan, which, they were 1-7 last season. Their roster is pretty solid now. And then obviously for reasons I can't speak of.
Yeah.
I think.
But I was just shocked because if you see Oregon goes from Texas to West Virginia this week.
Yeah, which
is right?
Yeah.
That's a respect to West Virginia. That's a step.
That's a curve, yeah. That's a curve. And Murph will
that's
tell you
that
that's
himself.
A step. Murph will tell you that himself. But
yeah.
Yeah, so
I think 2 things. One, I think Texas did what they were supposed to do. They stayed consistent.
Yes.
They played the game they're supposed to play. 2, Cobra Carter fit exactly where he needed to fit in there. And I not that I was low on Cobra Carter, but I wasn't necessarily high on him. But I think
I was
he's
right there with you.
fitting. I think he's fitting the role almost exactly what he needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
Just
I like
make-
Copacota. He just didn't expect this out of him.
Right.
no.
But also,
This
like,
is his second best game of his career.
let's be real, guys. Like, if you have a good team around your quarterback, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is. It's gonna work.
Absolutely.
When I was at
It's true.
Texas in my first season as a coach, we had Bo Jones. Now, Caleb, you might remember Bo Jones, but Austin, let me tell you about Bo Jones. And I talk about this guy a lot. I'm probably a lot of the reason people hate Texas. I'm gonna be honest. So when in the event that either a player on your team gets banned, specifically the quarterback, or you can't recruit one, you will get a replacement that is the Cy Hills build. Now, if y'all check the archetypes, the Cy Hills build is no longer around. The only active Cy Hills quarterback right now is Michael Lambert. So we were given the Cy Hills archetype. I don't know what they do now. I don't know because it's been a minute since we've had a situation like that.
Right.
But it's a base 89 overall. You can't upgrade it unless the person volunteers to become that quarterback. Then they can upgrade it. Well, I think it was the person takes their current player for what it is. They get a certain level of throw accuracy and throw power, and they can upgrade their throw accuracy, but nothing else. Or only the other shit that you can see like on the upgrades tab or whatever, something like that. Someone will correct me, if I'm wrong, but nobody on our team stepped up, so we got the base guy. Or no, we got one of our 3 stars who wasn't super active to be that guy. I think that's what it was.
Yeah.
So he never upgraded. We ended up going 6-2. He was statistically one of the best quarterbacks that season, and it was all because of the team we had around him.
No, it wasn't week 1 when that happened. I can tell you that.
No,
because
it was like
we
week
played
4.
y'all at LSU. We were your game that week, and
Sorry. Okay.
your quarterback outplayed our 99 quarterback.
Who was the quarterback
By
at
a
LSU
lot.
at the time?
Because that wasn't Denham-Dale. Yeah.
Was it Bodale?
No, Dale was because it was our second year there in CFSL when we played. Bodale, we went 7-1 with Bodale. You were not on 1 loss that year.
No, you beat us.
Yeah, you beat us 7. We beat Charleston when we went 7-1. I think it was Tavon Moss, low key.
Was it? Oh my god, it was.
I think we might have had Moss. I could probably go find the game. Let me go find the game real quick. Low key.
For some reason, I associate Tavon Moss with A&M. I don't know why.
I think it might have been Moss. It definitely wasn't Bodale.
Yeah, Bodale was Florida
wouldn't
anyway.
have.
Bodale was Florida.
No, Bodale was LSU too.
Oh, was he?
Yeah, his last year or 2 was at SU.
Screw me then, I guess.
But yeah, the only thing I was gonna say about Cobra Carter is like this is no shade on Spunky Tolbert, but he was very Jameis Winston like, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, and Cobra didn't play that way. Like 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. Like he didn't. Now obviously
Who is this?
Spunky probably would have had 8 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, but you know.
I forgot this guy even exists. I'm sorry, Sean Cohan. I apologize for getting your existence.
I feel really bad because if he's still in the league, like if he's got a different player in the league, that kind of sucks that I just can't associate anyone with him right now. No, I'm so sorry, Sean Cohan. Cohan?
I'm looking at him. He's not in the league anymore.
Okay, all right.
Okay.
Either way, like the point was, see, I just went on a tangent.
Peace.
We went on a tangent. I was like, we're not doing this, and I did it.
We did.
The point is, if you have a good team around the quarterback, then
yeah,
you can succeed.
Yeah,
because we had Dylan Powell. Dylan Powell is one of the best receivers of the modern era. I don't think we had Charlie Joe yet because that was when Bethany was still on your D line.
Bethany was, I think, gone by then.
Either way, one or the other. It was.
Yep, you had Charlie Joe.
Okay, so.
Because I only had Bethany for my freshman year.
Okay.
Your receiving core was Powell, Gates, Tyson, Charlie Joe.
Ooh, Gage Tyson. I miss that guy. I wonder what he's doing right now.
You still had Owen Moreland. You had Kakoa Rivers.
Which is semi-rage, I think.
It might be.
Who was our other defensive lineman?
Jason Todd and Keith Leonard.
I want to say he was either Keith Leonard or Kakoa Rivers. I just can't remember. And then Joey Delamano was someone we had too, but I don't know if it was that season. And he played.
It was that year.
Yeah, he plays for USC now. Dominic Delamano.
Kakoa Rivers was semi-rage.
Okay, cool. Yeah. How are you pulling this up so quickly, by the way? How are you associating the name of the player?
Searching in Discord. Just searching the name of the player.
Okay.
And most of the time, the senior game pops up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. I do that too. I don't know why I didn't know that. Anyway, yeah. Point being, if you have a good team around you, any quarterback can succeed.
Yeah.
And I think Cobra Carter, like, all respect to him. I think he's a good player. He did really good at LSU. The team around him at LSU wasn't great, but he still did pretty solid. You can obviously tell that the team that he has at Texas right now is a step up. And that's a lot of the reason he's doing so good so far. It's only been 1 week. The dude could end up throwing 15 interceptions next week. But, you know.
It's true.
Yeah, I'll knock on wood now, but when it comes to week 4, I'm not knocking on wood.
Yeah. Texas played the game they needed to play. That's moral of the story.
Yeah, all credit to controller too, because by God, that dude consumed his ass off.
Absolutely.
Yeah. David Climbs called him a sim wizard, and I believe it. Yeah, he is. Okay. Finally for night 1, we got Notre Dame, Ohio State. Caleb, do you want to go last or first?
I don't care.
Okay.
I don't think I have as much to say as you think.
Okay. Then go first.
I love Tyree. First off, shout out Tyree. Tyree's my guy. You know, I've played 2K with Tyree some.
I still haven't got the chance.
That's my boy. He and I talked for an hour and a half the weekend before this game. No, sorry, it was the weekend before the draft, sorry.
Yeah.
And we were talking about, everything CFSL wise. I think we did what we were supposed to do this game, respectfully. We were coming in as the favorite. I think we did everything we were supposed to do as the favorite. We looked really good, especially in the first half defensively. All their points came in the second half. We gave them hell. Our defense played great. I just think we had the kind of performance we expected as a team. Our freshmen and transfers played great. Shout out Keanu King. Jess Martin in the return game was great for us. Shout out Jess. She was a monster for us in returns. Shout out Christian Clark who had a game.
He did. Yeah, he did.
I shout out Austen Travis. I'll talk about him more later though. But he had a great debut.
I don't know if you said it yet, but shout out Mitchell Davis.
I'm not gonna shout out my own player, dog.
I'll do it.
Shout out Kai Avery.
Mm-hmm.
He played at a high level, which at the end of the day, your team can be only so good if you don't have the right quarterback.
Yeah.
And I think the game he had put us fully behind him because he played a very clean game manager football role, which is what we needed week 1 with weather.
Game manager with wheels.
Yeah, he's so slow. I don't know how he did all this. I can talk shit. That's my guy. So I love where we're at as a team. We're going into Alabama week, which is free eats. But I think we're in a great spot as a team. We just did what we were supposed to do. Come on, glaze us.
I'll have my crack at this. I agree. I agree that it was Notre Dame's game to lose, and they didn't. They held it on with a not a new AD, but coming in AD with at Ohio State with Tyree coming back. I think it was just a little bit of a disadvantage for him. But also, I want to come in saying that I saw someone have one of the most disappointing performances. Ben Davis, who one did threw two interceptions, but two also he has 1,273 yards. He had his first fumble this game of his career, and so yeah, in 3 seasons, first fumble this game.
I didn't even know
So
that.
It didn't.
so
It didn't get. It wasn't a turnover though. He just fumbled. It was recovered by them.
fair
So
enough.
I will. I
Fair
will. I will
enough.
give him that. We didn't give the
Fair
ball
enough.
off that.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
But like I said, for a guy who is, I think, very, I think he was, pretty dang good last year. To start
I
off
will
like
say. I
this,
think Ben Davis is a great quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
yeah,
I
Yeah,
love
yeah,
that
absolutely.
man. He's a great
yeah.
QB.
I
I
think
think for this game, it didn't go his way.
yeah. I think Tyree knows exactly how to use him. And I think that first game was a little bit of a learning process and kind of placing everything where it needed to be. Seeing what worked, seeing what didn't. Um, but Notre Dame killed it.
Yeah, he
Let's
did.
let's just say it was a trail of fire.
Yeah, Notre Dame did a good job. Shout out to Wookie. He knows I love him. I literally
I
told
hate the
him
guy.
today.
I hate the guy.
I told him today. I said, Wookie, I love you, dog. He didn't say it back because he said it first. All
He
right.
said it first.
Yep.
Damn.
Wow.
But I'll get us for the next two
Yeah,
games.
I gotta shout out Mitchell Davis real quick. Shout out Mitchell Davis because I know you won't.
Had a
I
great
think it
game.
was your first 100-yard game since your freshman season, right?
No, I had one last year.
Oh, right. Okay.
VT.
Ah, yeah.
Had
Well,
one
you
against
played
VT.
a great game. Ty Avery played a great game. Even though he's a good kicker, better quarterback.
No, shout him out.
Er,
No, like you said, he's such a good dude. He's happy to play his role for winning. Good. We have the receivers where when we want to air it out, we can air it out. Too is the beautiful thing about this team. We just
Yeah.
had to go run heavy. We had weather. We liked our advantages in the front seven. And end of the day, we have a pretty okay running back.
Wow. Okay.
You know,
All right.
We love to see
I only
transfers.
say all right as long as I'm playing. If I play Tennessee, though, I'm goaded. Austin don't know that more.
Ooh, that
Do
was the
you know
season
that more, Austin?
before.
I'm not fully aware.
Oh no,
Where
because
has
like prior to the season, when people were like, "Okay, I know we got a bit till season starts. What should I watch to get a good sample?" We
Oh,
always,
exactly.
Notre
me
Dame,
and Ryan,
Tennessee. Notre Dame,
me
Tennessee.
and Ryan always told people Notre Dame, Tennessee, probably one of the best games that me and him have ever called together.
we
And you asked me,
watched
I think it was you that asked what was
It
what was
was
my favorite game I
it
ever
was
called, and I
see,
said Tennessee Notre Dame.
it just blew past
it's
me.
so for us for context, Austin, that Notre Dame team we had that year sucked. And we watched 4 quarters of Mitchell Davis just try to will us to a win.
Yeah,
250.
234.
I had 250 total yards.
Mm-hmm.
I literally, it was, if you watched, it was literally dead. Mitchell Davis would make something happen, and then our walk on kicker sold.
And that's where Wally Wyatt was born.
And then Wally Wyatt was born 5 minutes after that game. True story, by the way. True story. I just messaged Wookie. I'm making a kicker.
There's no way.
All right. Day 2, Kaleb. Get us started.
Day 2, we had Miami beating Oklahoma, and we had, I'm sorry, Austin, UNC beating Tennessee. We'll start off with Miami OU.
Yeah.
because shout out Austen. Shout out Michael Amber.
Mm-hmm.
Shout out Michael Amber. Good game. And a losing effort. I want to shout out him again. Actually, well, I'll shout him out. I'll talk about him again later too. Jalen Whittaker, 3-star demon.
Yep. Absolutely.
Whitaker
Second best,
probably is
second
actually how you
best
say it.
wide
I
receiver.
believe he played for LSU last season. If I remember that right.
I'll double check real quick. Georgia last year.
Georgia. Yep.
So he has already beat his career high in receiving yards in a year. He's 5 catches off his career high in receptions in a year, and has more touchdowns in a season than he's ever had. And he has last season he had 2 catches for 27 yards. By the way,
Dude, he has played for 3 teams in 3 years. I think he
he
finally
is
found his fit. He
his
finally found
second
his
best
fit.
game. His second best game in his career is a 1 catch effort against Alabama for 23 yards.
The game of a lifetime.
Game of a lifetime.
And no, he went dummy. Like, shout out to him. We're gonna
Oh
talk
yeah.
more about that later. Yeah, I thought that was a great game, especially from Miami. I think Oklahoma just kind of got back into it a little too late. And again, this is another one of those situations where if you play it 10 times, it's going to be split. I won't say 5-5, but I think 7-3 in favor of Miami. There's definitely a world where Oklahoma wins that game. I just don't think they had it right at that moment. But I do think, because we've known this about Oklahoma. Oklahoma takes a couple of weeks to find their true identity, and then that's when they start making their run. I think that's kind of where they're at right now.
You don't want to play Oklahoma week 4, 5, 6.
Nope.
No, because DT's a monster.
Yeah.
Shout out Miami.
Yeah.
Shout out Nintendo Walk.
Okay, I
I'm
don't know if
guessing
we
he's your all-purpose player of the week.
I don't know if we
Probably.
covered this, but Jalen Whittaker also had a touchdown on the ground.
What?
Holy shit!
Yeah.
Yeah, because he's an RB. He's also a running back.
Yeah,
He
that's the
plays
thing
running back
about
for them too.
he's wide receiver 4 on that team, I think. Which means he's running back 2. Meaning when he's not on the field catching 6 passes for 150 yards or whatever it was,
11 for
scored
161.
11 for 161
with 2
Okay.
touchdowns.
with 2 touchdowns. When he's not doing that, he's on the field running it in.
For a touchdown. No shot. Dude, what a game. What a game.
No, that's a great game. All right, now moving on. Sorry, Austen.
So Austin, you want to go first or last here, buddy?
Yeah, we gotta ask.
I can go first. I can go first. You know, a game for sure. One of the games ever played.
One of
Now,
3 comebacks.
honestly, yeah, comeback. Obviously, we'll talk about that in a second. But I think the start went really well for us. It kind of felt like we started getting some things going. I'd say in the middle of the second quarter, it felt like we had the ground and the pass game working in a way that we like, but then just red zone opportunities, uh, you know, the amazing defense that they played in the second half, and our inability to come back when it mattered most kind of just made the difference. Let them go on a 17-0 run. I think the momentum was definitely on their side. We'll say that.
No. I didn't get to watch much of this game. Was it the 7:30 game?
It was
It was the
6:30 for me,
6:30.
7:30.
Yeah, so that was when I was like kind of locked into moving all this shit. By the way, different room. Last week I was in an empty room. Now I got,
Yeah.
bunch of stuff around me.
We were talking about
Yeah, so like moved in. Didn't really get a chance to watch that opening slate of games on Wednesday. So my thoughts are to a minimum for this one.
That's okay.
You know, week 1 is a crapshoot, and ironically this is the first time I've said this today. But week 1 is a crapshoot, and again, one of those games. If you play it 10 times, 5 go to each side. Um, I
Yeah.
I think Tennessee has improved a lot. I think that the rest of the season, I think that's a tone setter for the rest of the season. You don't want that to happen again. I think switch playbooks.
I was going to talk about that.
Yeah. And by
Yeah,
the
you did.
way, we tested a lot about that playbook. It's Arizona, right?
Yep.
Yes.
That playbook is exactly what they were good at last season. It's
It's the third year in Arizona
yeah,
now,
it's
because they were in season 24 as well.
yeah.
I believe in 25 we were Oregon, if I'm not mistaken. No.
No, you were Arizona.
Oregon
Okay.
to Arizona.
You did the
Or
same thing.
Arizona to Oregon. One or the other.
I don't
Was
remember.
yours
We
last
had
year?
I think they were in Oregon last season.
I think we
I
were
could have
too.
sworn. Yeah.
I'm pretty
I'm
confident we were.
tripping.
I will say it wasn't a statistically great game for most people. I mean, Pete Ware had 139 yards, but he only had 4 catches.
Yeah.
So I mean, the volume wasn't there. The defense, there's not a lot of stats that really speak out to you, except really nothing. It just I think just because both
It
teams were
was Oregon
so
last year.
yeah
Mm.
yeah just
Here's the
because both
thing.
teams
Here's the thing with Oregon, right? As much like I like that book, I feel like if we would have put ourselves in it, it would have worked. But the thing about Oregon is no matter how you tweak it, it will always run more than it passes, and I don't know why. And that's
and
that's the scary part.
that's the kind of that's what we were
Yeah,
playing last year. To be fair, I mean
Yeah,
it's
no,
but
just
you guys could too because you had Falcon, Gator, and Felton.
yeah
yeah, and
Like you had
now
depth in that spot.
you're in a spot where you're without Kelby, right? So
yeah
it's Falcon and Gator, but you also have good receivers. So if you wanted to say, hey, let's up that notch a little bit, let's let Falcon air it out. Something I don't think we'll ever hear David Ware say, but
He's gonna
I
hit the
doubt it.
back of a lineman's helmet, dude.
yeah, but you can, right? You got the receiver talent to do so. I think Arizona's a perfect book to balance that out.
No, I really love the Arizona book for them. They were in season 24 when they made a playoff run when it was just Felton and Falcon because you didn't have Pete Ware at the time. Your
Mhm.
receiver talent sucked. You had those two, and you basically had Red Brick, and that was your
Yeah,
offense.
and they still made it
Mhm.
work.
And they made it were a playoff team with that.
5 and
I
4.
really think that's a great book. I will say Data Gillespie is a really damn good running back who needs more than 10 carries.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I agree.
Arizona.
I
And
know he
Arizona
only
100%.
3.4 yards to carry this game.
I don't know if
Easy.
y'all saw the carries. They felt like they were kind of built up so slow that it just allowed everyone to just rush in
Yeah.
and get to him. So it
Yeah,
didn't feel effective, I guess. But I mean, as long as you don't look at Drake Kirby's numbers, I mean, everybody got, a decent amount of um like volume.
Well,
So it was cool to see him share the wealth. I just hope that, these uh not super long catches will be, longer as the season goes by and, maybe more touchdowns on the board. That'd be awesome too.
yeah. It was a good game. One of 3 comebacks this week. I believe the first one.
Yep. Yep.
Moving
second.
on to second.
It was the second.
What happened
USC Auburn.
first? Yeah.
Uh,
Okay.
I
You
got
had
you.
one each night.
Right.
And it was
Moving
both the first
on.
Twitch game each night.
Yeah. Dang. Were they all the early game too?
Yeah, they were all the first game on Twitch.
I think we can talk Michigan, Bama.
Yeah, and then we also
we'll
got to
start
do
with
Colorado.
we'll
I think
start
we should.
Texas. We'll start. Do you want to start A&M? A&M Colorado.
Yeah.
Talk
Yeah.
about how y'all murdered Michigan first.
No, let's
I
let's go
think.
let's go with Colorado A&M first.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
I guess I'll start this one off. Look, this was the first game that me and you disagreed on, and congrats to you. You're ahead of me in the pick
Yeah.
because of that. Which, by the
Yeah,
way,
1 game ahead.
I guess at the end
I'll
of the
tell you that.
segment, I'll throw up a graphic of me and you and our record or whatever. We both sucked, but you're probably leading if I remember that right.
I'm assuming we both did the exact same thing for Pick'em. We made the exact same picks in Pick'em as we made here.
I don't know. I think I did, but I don't know.
I know I did.
I want to say I did, but either way,
I definitely.
you're beating me currently, and this is the first time we're like introducing like the guest pick'em. So now Austen, 3 weeks
Get to
from
kick off
now,
that leaderboard.
yeah, he's gonna have his week versus Guns
Whoever's
week
next
versus
whoever
Trips week
next.
versus Baker's week versus.
That'll be.
Am I leaking our guests?
Yes, you are.
Oops. I'm not bleeping it either. I'm not bleeping it either. Okay.
Maybe
But-
we'll skip this part.
Yeah, you heard nothing. Uh-oh.
no words were said.
I accidentally unfull screened my Discord. Oopsie. Okay.
Bozo.
Anyway, I picked Colorado. I will say the generational talent they landed in Carter Washington, and that like I said, there's not a single hole in that team, and I still believe that. But Texas A&M was just able to poke a hole in that game plan, and somehow, again, it's week 1.
Oh.
When you're playing a team as good as Texas A&M, they can go anywhere with it.
Yeah.
Right. So you're having to try and compensate for everything, and I don't think they were able to do that.
I did.
And
I think I did. Oh, sorry.
A&M's really good. That's that.
Yeah, I think I did the opposite of putting a name brand on something where, I kind of didn't give Texas A&M the value that they truly had. And I also picked Colorado in this just because I guess I didn't fully see Texas A&M improve that much over the off season, and I did see Colorado improve a lot. So they already had a good foundation to build off of, but
Absolutely.
so sorry, I was just gonna say I felt like this is kind of like a Texas A&M showing look, we're still here. We're playing this game seriously.
Right.
The reason I couldn't pick against A&M, and it's not against Colorado to be clear. I very much think Colorado is one of the front runners for the is I think at the end of the day, when you look at week one is about knowing what the other team is going to do. You know what Colorado is going to do week in and week out. They want to air that ball out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's they're going to. So at least you walk in with the foundation of they're going to pass. Week 1, I think if you play this game in a few weeks, I think you have to approach this game fully differently because you know what A&M's identity is. Now, with that being said, I think Texas A&M has so much flexibility in what they can do. Drew Axis is a great runner. Plus, you have Jackson Hare, who's a outstanding running back. Even though he could probably eat a double cheeseburger here and there
With extra mayo.
With extra mayo,
Spicy
shout out
mayo.
Hollywood. Spicy mayo. He but is a good running back nonetheless. You have, and that's I think where it came down to is A&M can hit you in many different ways.
Right.
I mean, their granted sacks play in as well. They were a 35-30 difference. Without the sacks, it was 35-28. You look at Colorado, they were 47-35, but they had 6 sacks from LC Fremont. So it was realistically 47-29, which everyone knew they'd pass the ball like that.
Right.
And I think that plays to a game plan advantage week 1 to them. So it's not a hole in the game. End of the day, Bama's going to pass. Tennessee's going to run the ball. These teams are going to do that. But week 1, numbers-wise, that's just a huge advantage for the other team game planning. If they know what your identity is. You understand what I'm saying, right, V?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That's the minor advantage you have.
Right. Like
And
when you're facing a team like specifically, let's say Tennessee, right? If you look at what Tennessee did last season and you look at what they have this season, it is offensively slightly different than what it was before. Like you lost Kelby Fulton,
and we lost tight end, I think.
right? But you
But
replaced
you
that
had
tight
You
end,
had Josh Evans.
right? You replaced that tight end with a big ass dude who can block his ass off, right?
Yep.
So,
Yep.
Yeah.
You're kind of like, okay, this guy can block both ways, but Falcon can run better than he can pass. Of course, you still got Gator, who's a legend. And then you got Pete Ware, who's a great run blocker as well. Then you got, I don't know what your run blocking stats look like, but I can imagine you can hold your own in the run game.
Yeah, I'm a bigger guy.
So you're like, okay, they're going to run.
Yeah.
So we have an idea of where they're going, what range they're going to be in. Colorado, it's that exact same way because, like, all respect to Tom Morrow, Quincy Asher, Pooh Sparrow,
Malik Benton,
Malik
Mac
Benton,
Miles,
Mag Miles, all of them. You're
To be
not,
fair,
Washington.
yeah, you're not leaving them be to go straight to that run game. Because, like, who's behind Morrow? Is it still Dodd?
Moore and Jones.
Jones.
Okay. I mean, he's good
And
too.
to be fair, if you don't look at the score and you look at the stats, it looks like Colorado's game.
Yeah.
24
Yes.
first downs to 18, 83 500 yards to 343 total yards. 41% third down percentage to 16%. Same amount of turnovers. I think sacks are the only like big thing that Texas A&M has above Colorado.
And red zone.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Red
How
zone is
many
where
picks
I
did
think red zone's
Fremont
where
throw?
it was lost. One. Only one turnover.
Ooh. Axis?
Which was matched by Axis his one. It literally came down to Texas A&M did not fill the red zone. Colorado failed once in the red zone.
Interesting.
It's a 4-point game. If Colorado just gets a touch, either one of the 2 field goals is a touchdown, or they score a touchdown on the 1 failed trip, they win this football game.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It just
Penalties were
looks like
similar. Texas A&M had more sacks. Turnover differential was exactly the same. Third
Colorado
down,
even had
Colorado
more.
dominated.
Say that one more time, Austin.
Sorry, I was gonna say they even had time possession. Like they held the ball more often. It literally was just they couldn't turn 3 to 7.
Yeah. All right. Now,
I will say, you only won by 48. Like you could have won by more.
Come on, man. You couldn't have gotten the last 2 points, dude. I will give Alabama their flowers. It's not even that defense set their offense up outstandingly.
Absolutely.
Shout out Deion Richardson, 3 sacks, a fumble recovery, a touchdown, monster performance. Pedro Montero, monster performance. 14-4. Brogan Patrick balled out. I will
Lila
give
Moreland?
the guy his Lila Moreland, shout out. I will give the receiver the credit where the credit is due. Deshaun Johnson had a hell of a game.
he did.
No, Mateo Messias dominated.
Who the fuck is that guy? What?
A bum.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, like I was saying earlier, Pedro Montero did exactly what he needed to do to fill in that spot, where Nikolai Storm left off. And I think you look at the stats, Pedro did better if you count the fumble. Pedro did better. Also, more tackles for loss, 4-1, with the same amount of total tackles. So I think for him to fill that spot so perfectly is really important for Alabama's defense.
Yeah. Shout out Haley Radloff. 9 tackles, 6 TFLs, 2 sacks, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
He played well. Shout out Moochie. He played a good game for Michigan. Jet Cannon had a rough game. He's going to bounce back.
Mm-hmm.
I have no doubts about that. He's going to need to for this team to do what I think everyone thinks they can do. I think this is going to be a competitive football team. Michigan, They just got to get the momentum rolling.
Right. I guess this is where I say something about my team.
No. I think we just go on to the next game.
Yeah. I think we don't let him speak.
No.
Yeah, see, you told me to shut up. I'm just gonna make you shut up.
All right, so
I'm taking the freedom of speech away from you for one game. The amendment's gone. Go ahead.
All
I think you're simming.
Anyway.
I think you're simming said enough. I don't think you need to say anything.
I am simming over here.
What's the score now?
It's over.
What was the final?
Notre Dame won.
32-17.
Okay, so y'all won.
How do you know?
Because it was 23-10.
Yeah.
You earlier.
Anyway. I know I said this in our locker room, so this is kind of like a PSA type deal, I guess. If I could give everybody a shout out, I would. But I don't want to yap for an hour about my team. I want to give a shout out to Tyler Woodson. He's a 3-star corner. He doesn't see much action yet. And he still came in there, got an interception. That's 3 games in a row he has an interception, by the way. He played in both newcomer games. Got the game sealing one on the first one, the game winning one, a pick 6 in the second one, and then got a pick here in his first official game. And then another one that I really didn't give a shout out to in the locker room because, again, don't want to tag everybody, separately, because I could sit there and write a whole passage about it. Lila Moreland, 2 interceptions. And then I think Deion Richardson, who will end up being on the Player of the Week ballot. Don't know if he's going to win it. Should be on the ballot just for the touchdown alone. But the 3 sacks, the 3 TFLs, he killed it. He had 2 sacks last season. 2. And he's got 3 in his first game this season. I just, obviously for reasons I can't talk about, this game was expected to go the way it was. And I gotta give credit to Michigan, Ike and Moochie especially, because those are the 2 bigger name guys there. I was talking a bit to Moochie this morning. We're recording this on Thursday night, technically Friday morning. It's 2:36 a.m. I was talking to them both, and I was like, "Yeah, you guys are champs. There's not a lot of people who would be in that situation you were in, and continuously say this is exactly where we wanted you to be. Now we're about to flip it." They were down 42, and Moochie was like, "This is where we wanted y'all at. We're gonna flip it," and I love that.
I love that mentality
because, and everybody's right about this. The very moment that you give up on a game is the very moment everyone else gives up with you. And I've always we haven't been blown out. Well, we've been blown out once in the playoffs to Tennessee, but I never let my spirit drop, and I was in the booth for that one. So you got to understand how hard that was for me. So you always been trying to keep the spirit up.
It wasn't for me.
So wait, say that one more time.
I said I know how hard that wasn't for me.
This is the fourth time I've took
I
these
I,
things off, by the way.
I had to watch them. I had to watch multiple blows last year.
Yeah. But I love what we did there. We expected that, of course. We knew there was a good chance they could keep it close because of the rain game. We thought it could have played into their game plan a lot better than it did ours, but it still, we still executed everything like per normal. But yeah, shout out to Ike and Mucci for keeping the spirits high. They're the goats for that. It's a lot of the reason I'm a big fan of Ike's, and you know, I don't really know Mucci like that. When he left originally, I wasn't a coach yet. So, or either I wasn't a coach yet or I wasn't as involved as I am now. But Mucci's a great dude, and I think that um, he and Ike are two great leaders for that team, and I think they're like the perfect foundation to keep that culture where it needs to be at. But yeah, enough about Bama. Let's go.
All right. We'll go to the next comeback win, Penn State Clemson. Clemson fought their way through for this win.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was
I'm gonna give them the credit.
it was 35-14 at one point.
35-14 and a half.
35-14 at half, and
35
Clemson
14
didn't
and a
score in the
half.
second half.
Yep. Penn State. Penn State did not
Penn State
score
went
for the
scoreless.
fourth quarter.
Fourth, third, entire second half and scoreless.
Obviously, we're aware of how bad the start was. You know, to come back means you had to have a rough start. But I did want to shout out Nicholas Francis, who's leading the league now in pass deflections and had an interception with that for Clemson's defense. I did watch their first touchdown was absolutely him getting blown by. But like I said, that's the start. The way they came back and didn't even allow a single point in the second half is amazing. And I think the 3 pass deflections and the interception is a testament to their never give up mentality.
I want to give credit, and he and I have had some LC beef, but it's all part of the fun. You know, Clemson Notre Dame rivalry. Anthony Durbin had a great debut to the league. 71 rushing yards. He had 44 through the air, no receiving touchdown, 9 catches. He balled the hell out. Like, I want to give him a ton of credit for the game he played and the role he played in them coming back. TD Jackson was a baller.
Look, we've had our doubts about TD Jackson, right? We did say
He's proven me wrong every damn week.
yeah. Uh, we've had our doubts about him because obviously when you're playing in the newcomer game, you're playing in a system that isn't yours. So you're like, okay, if this guy does really good, you don't want to overreact. If he does really bad, you don't want to overreact. I gave him a shout out in the article I wrote about the newcomer freshman. But even then I still had my doubts. I'm like, okay, when he gets to Clemson, how is this going to work out for him? He was playing with
Great.
a lot lesser talent in the newcomer game, but now he's at Clemson with a lot better talent. Like we were talking about earlier, doesn't matter how good or bad a quarterback may be, if you got the team around him, they're going to succeed. And he's doing just that so far, 1 week. We do have a question actually that kind of involves Clemson that we'll get to when we get to that portion. But yeah, I thought it was a good game on Clemson's part. I was like, oh yeah, Penn State, they reloaded so perfectly, like they're going on another natty run, and they still can. But
I don't lose faith in Penn State here.
yeah, I'm not losing faith in Penn State at all. Travis went 4-4, y'all, 4-4. He had a chance of not being voted into the playoffs. But all it takes is just getting there, right? And he'll get there one way or another.
I think this is less of a test of Penn State's validity and more of proof of Clemson's validity.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And you look at Clemson and how their path to their ACC championship and where they ended up. I will say this about Bama because this is true. If I'm oblivious to it, it's going to be my downfall. We had a weaker path. Clemson had a weaker path. Now, let's be honest. Kaleb, you're here. You can testify to this too. Notre Dame was really good. The roster, or you guys overachieved from what the roster may have looked like.
Oh, absolutely.
So,
like we have said, and it was said about Notre Dame if you look back at the articles.
Yeah.
We were a team that was ahead of schedule of where we realistically should have been.
Yeah.
We played like we were not supposed to be Miami. We were a little shocked when we beat Miami. Same with FSU.
Mm-hmm.
Yes,
Same
FS.
like,
and
we just found a way.
Yeah.
You just have to think about that, like teams that you wouldn't expect to be in the place that they're at. But you also think about there's teams that weren't there that should have been there. And I think like when you talk about beating FSU, like FSU last year was kind of really crazy for me just to see the way that they started because they start 0-3.
They started 0-3 and they couldn't bounce back.
Yeah. No, they
Yeah.
finished 3-5. So they finished 3-2. Not enough to, get into their playoffs.
Yeah.
Let's see. What was I saying about?
Also shows how important it is to start strong, even if
Yeah.
you have to get used to it. And week one is crazy. If you can't start strong enough, you're gonna fall back.
Yeah.
I stand on the. At the end of the day, OOC cannot matter. At the end of the day, because at the end of the day, just win your conference or be top 3 in your conference. It doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
But
in the event you don't,
also in the event of you don't, OOC is the most important thing in the world.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
And
now, if you're in a stat conference, like kind of where we're at right now, it would benefit us.
The world to y'all.
It would benefit us. Which, by the way, I love having you on this week. It would have been a lot better to have you on next week too, because we play Tennessee. But
Yeah.
I don't want to do repeat guests like back to back weeks.
That's fair. It's.
But.
Yeah, if y'all don't mind losing next week, I mean it's fine. We'll take the win.
Yeah, if y'all want to go 1-2 and out of conference play, Austen and I won't be mad.
No.
Nah.
We'll give y'all a hug even.
No, I don't want a hug. I don't want a hug from you. Not right now.
Oh wow! What did you do that to Austen?
I was talking about you, Kaleb, but I don't want a hug from you, Kaleb. Not this week. We can have all the hugs in the world
1 week off.
after.
1 week off.
Okay, well, as long as we don't play on Thursday, we'll be all right. Yeah, too late. No take backsies. Anyway, I completely forgot where I was going on that, but Clemson played one heck of a job, and like Austen said, it's more of a proof of validity for Clemson because of like where both of us came from, projected bottom of the conference. We overachieved, especially for where our rosters were at. And they're continuing to prove that, now that their roster's improved, they're coming back and they're trying to insert themselves into a contender role rather than just conference champion.
And I think they are. I think they really are.
I agree. I told Beard, I was like, I may have drank the USC Kool-Aid a little too much. But I'm not knocking them down a peg. However, I will bump up Clemson.
Week 1 to me, you can't knock a team down. You can only pick teams up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Whoa.
Moving on. Next game, we got the other comeback. The most important one of the week, or not most important one, but the biggest comeback of the week. Florida over Florida State.
Oh, you went out of order.
We were talking about the comebacks first, weren't we?
No, well, I thought we've been going in order of
Georgia, West Virginia.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna say. Whoa.
Georgia, West Virginia.
I had that game ready.
Yeah, me too.
High scoring game. We saw this game last season. It was two teams that we kind of knew where they were at. This time, Georgia's still an unknown. I will say, West
Dog.
Virginia. I do think West Virginia is better. I said it last week. They're gonna get a win. They will. West Virginia is better last year than they were this year. Georgia is better last year than they were this year, or other way around. Better this year than they were last year. There we go. But ultimately, these are two better teams now. Are they the
I have a
best
question.
teams? Are they top teams? Maybe not. We'll see. Go ahead.
I have okay, sorry. So you were saying?
No, go ahead. Go ahead.
I was gonna say,
I'll let you go.
do you think this is more of both teams having great offenses or both teams having maybe, less spectacular defenses?
Oh, I'm gonna let you answer that first, Caleb. I'm gonna let you be the bad guy today.
So I want to lead with this. Both Big Muff, huge fan of mine. I love Muff to death. I love, Ben. Ben's my guy.
Ben?
I love Ben to death. You'll understand why in a minute when I'm specifying Ben. It's bad defenses, I think.
And there's a reason why I brought it up. One, obviously the insanely high score. Two, look at Seth Chapman, who had an amazing game, right? 7 total touchdowns, 4 rushing touchdowns. He has one less touchdown in his career, not including this year, with this game. And for him to rush for 82 yards and 4 touchdowns when he had 5 before then in the last 2 years. That doesn't feel representative of the way he's playing. Not that he's
No.
a bad player or anything, but it's just not the way that he's played football.
I think this game. I want to give West Virginia a lot of credit. This was a lot. They played a lot better than I truthfully expected them to do. I looked at their roster
Agreed.
today, and I'm like, ooh, this is
100%
this could be
agreed.
tough. Like, I'll talk more about them later.
They're in a better
think
spot now than they were last season, though. But that
absolutely.
I will say, and this is like no shot at Murph at all because I love Murph and Murph knows that. That team was not in good shape last season.
Yeah.
I'm gonna do something. I'm gonna say this. I think the biggest thing they did, and I'm saying this because Allen himself has said this about West Virginia, is West Virginia is going to be better because they have the cancer out of the locker room of Tank Golden, and that's in the word of Allen himself. Did you not see that?
I didn't know.
Allen today's like after the game was like, I knew West Virginia was going to be better. They got Tank Golden out of the locker room, and that's a cancer right there. Tank Golden's Allen's player.
I know.
So
Yeah,
he was joking about that.
this is the portion where we take the time to like joke on ourselves. That Mateo guy, so short. I mean, Falcon Chestnut could tower over that guy.
Oh, yeah.
Not really. Mitchell Davis. His name is MD for a
Sucks.
reason because his name is MD for a reason because every time he tries to do it himself, you add the I in the middle, and now he's mid. I'm gonna let Austen roast himself because I can't. I love him too much.
I guess DK really stands for don't catch the ball. It's nice little 1 catch 8 yards. That's
All right.
indicative of the
I would
season
say
I'm having.
I was gonna say his last name's Derby because he's better off at the Kentucky Derby.
Rake Derby. Yep.
Yep.
Yeah, but
That was the
it was a great game to watch. Fun to watch.
Absolutely.
I do got to give a lot of credit to West Virginia because again, Murph stays in games that he has no business being
game
in.
planner.
Yeah,
They found
outstanding
the
game
offense
planner.
this year. It's the big thing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'm interested to see if this is a one-off thing or if these teams are.
I don't think so.
I think
just don't know.
Georgia. I think Georgia will
not
be in a better spot.
not one team or the other, but just like if Georgia drops 30 next week and the team they're playing drops 50 again, that's
it's a trend
that's
to
where you
watch.
start. Exactly that. Yeah.
Yeah. Credit to Georgia. Credit to Rob. I know Me and Rob have not talked that much. I talk more to Haas and Ben than I do anybody on any other team other than you. Um, I said other than you.
I just want to
Austin.
say, I just
I
want to
I thought you
say
might.
said about
that
Austin. Like,
Yeah,
the half season that I watched, I was a Haas fan. That was my player.
dude. Haas is an incredible person outside of the player too. Like Haas is a great guy. I talked to him a decent bit. Ben, one of my out of people I've met in the league, got to be top 3 favorite people.
he's in my like top 6 or 7.
Yeah, bro.
I had to make the joke. He'll laugh at the joke.
Sure. Yeah, he will. But I really like, as much as I shouldn't because they're a rival of ours. I really like that Georgia team, dude. If it's not good on the field, the vibes immaculate.
Yeah, yeah,
But
yeah.
I
One
think
hundred
they'll be
percent.
both. I think they'll be both, honestly.
Yeah.
100%.
I think Rob is also in a spot like Murph where he has business. He has no business being in some games that he's in.
Yes.
Like last year, and it was a lot of the reason was probably because he knows the guy so well. He played Auburn down to the very final, like 5 minutes or so, and he whooped
Think
our ass. He whooped our ass. I didn't want to say it, but he whooped our ass. Yeah, he destroyed us.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, he's incredible. Like I said, if you give him half a better team than what he had last year, he will turn it into gold. Anyway, moving on.
How about them Gators?
Florida State.
that's where we're going at. Okay.
I want to make an apology here. I
Go ahead, say it then.
I think I might have done it last week. I have not been very high on Florida. I've said this team could be dangerous because at the end of the day, you're in the Missouri book with a gunslinger and Alexander Schultz, and you can make a lot of noise.
Wasn't
in a game.
Schultz. It wasn't
Alexander,
Schultz.
yeah, Alexander Schultz ain't the guy.
Oh,
But he did great. He did
I
great.
want-
He's the second leading receiver.
I want to make some. Brother, if you have 219 yards, you still have a damn good game.
No,
Okay,
he's
okay.
a great.
You have Schultz and Mario Taylor.
He's a great
like,
player.
Those two
And-
balled.
Great player on paper. Better player than Mario Taylor. Let's go ahead and put that out there. Better built player by a mile. No shot to Mario Taylor. It's just the truth. But let's talk
Yeah.
about how it shook out.
Yeah,
Dog. This game was a great game.
yeah.
Yeah, I was in the booth on YouTube
Like,
when this
I'm
was going on.
I'm 100% on the same boat as you, where I wasn't necessarily high on Florida coming into this game, and I think there's just that not stigma, that's not the word I'm looking for. I guess notoriety when it comes to Florida State. Like, the history, that they're a
Yes.
great team.
Mhm.
And so I think it's hard to not pick Florida State in a game. Especially with a team, no disrespect, with a team like Florida, who wasn't necessarily super popular last year in their the way they played. They weren't necessarily like, amazing. And they had some pickups this year, but again, something I wasn't really looking at. But then you look at two receivers who got 200 yards, both top the league. One of them's a 3-star, and it's hard to deny that they can be lethal in some games.
I had I was critical on this team because I didn't think they'd be this. I knew they'd be really good offensively. And Valente knows this too. Since Valente and I have entered the league, there's one thing Adam does, and that's score a lot of points. Like, since I've been in the league, Adam has had explosive offenses. It's just always been, can his defense back it?
Hey,
Okay.
bro,
Well,
that's my
then
AB Gramps right there. I know a lot about him.
I'll ask the same question then. The score's 59-52, right? Do
Mhm.
we think that's great offense, or do we think that's maybe less great defense?
I think it's for Florida. I think it's both.
Yeah. Florida does not have a great defense. And there's going to be a lot of games. I think there's going to be a few
This
games.
is going to be the trend of the year.
Like, I don't think this is necessarily a hot take, but this could very well go wrong. Well, how we were asking if Georgia's going to be the team that loses 30 to 50, I think Florida will be that team in more games than Georgia will. Because their offense is so good, but their defense is a little behind.
I want to shout out real quick. Just both generational talent defensive linemen who played tonight.
Yeah.
In the game. Buck Wild, 4 TFLs, 3 sacks. You go over to Florida State, Frost Winter, 7 TFLs, 3 sacks. Both the GTD linemen had damn good games.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's going to be interesting to see how that player of the week ballot goes for defense.
Oh my God, it's stacked.
Someone is going to be left off that we could mention here, but we don't know who it is because we're recording this on Thursday night.
Yeah, that's we just don't have the ballot.
Usually, the goal is to usually record this after the ballot comes out, so we have everything to look at. But right now, since it's Thursday, you're not free Saturday. And then I don't even think we'll have it tomorrow either.
Yeah, I work tomorrow, so.
Yeah, so we're just
my schedule's just sloppy this week.
We're winging it. Let's say next week
I'm not even in.
I'm good. I can do every day.
I go back to normal next week. I'm not even in. I'm in the OOTP league right now, but Mike has me on CPU just because I don't have the time to keep my roster going even.
Yeah.
Just crazy because that's something that takes 10, 15 minutes a game day. But I'm between when I'm home, I'm simming right now. That's what I have to do.
Yeah, that's fair.
But shout out Florida. We have a question about Florida later too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that was recently added.
All right. Yeah. Also, I was pushing it. It was I don't want to say it was 42 to 16 or something to at least near that range. While me and my boy Michael were in the booth on YouTube. And I was like, okay, Tom's chasing his 100th win because that would have been his 100th win.
Yeah.
Yeah,
29-0 fourth quarter.
It's gonna have to wait a week.
Commentators curse.
Oh my God, I did curse him. It's not just kickers. No, y'all don't understand. I curse kickers.
Y'all did everything. Hold on. Y'all did everything to curse Grin this week, respectfully. You did the commentator thing. You had the article about his 100 wins come out last week.
Yeah, I think
y'all full on put every little thing you could do to curse Grin.
The reverse psychology, I guess.
I saw that article and I'm like, dog, if Grin don't win week 1 now in a game that they're favorited by a decent bit.
I'm staring directly into the camera when I say this. Tom Pence, if you're watching this, you're probably not because you're overly busy and goaded to watch this. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I feel like I was the reason that happened.
Tom Pence and Florida State goes 0-8 this year. He doesn't reach his 100th win.
No, oh my! I think I will guarantee he gets 100 wins this year.
Oh yeah, 100%.
I'm not saying it because at this point I think I'm the reason.
I will guarantee. I think, and I'll just say it. If you look at his conference schedule, respectfully to both these teams, he'll beat one of TCU or West Virginia.
Yeah, but
I don't know if they play TCU like the TCU we just saw, but
he
should
yeah,
for sure.
I'm not gonna say
I said he should beat one of the two. I said he should beat one of the two.
I'm not gonna say he will because we've already established that I'm the curse. But let's bring this back real quick. Venom, if you're watching this, Venom knows every kick. I'm talking about every kick. If I said Chip Lightfoot's name when he was going up to kick, he didn't make it. But if I didn't say his name, he was good.
I still think one of my favorite things, and on this podcast to chat, is there's one week where we got it bad, and Beard's not the most active dude in the broadcasters chat. It's not a very active chat. And he just sent a video about the broadcasters curse in
Who
the
sent it?
chat. I think it was Beard who sent it. It was Beard or Cade.
One of them, yeah. Yeah. And we were talking about it a lot that week, and then all of a sudden, next thing you know, every kicker that I mentioned just wanted to miss. If I say their name,
It's making fun of the video.
they disappear. They're not Joe Hendry. Only Caleb gets that reference, I think.
Say his name and he appears. I got you, bro. Don't worry.
I see. I love him.
Yeah.
There's some point where the broadcasters curse did get mentioned.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
someone. Yeah, no, it was Beard. Beard told y'all the announcer jinx was real.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Lastly, of our
Nice
recap
game.
of the week. My God, by the way, I haven't looked
I
at how
know.
long we've been doing this, but
I know.
it's 3:02. The
Yeah.
last I looked at the clock, it was 2:36.
Dog, I know how long we've been going. Don't worry.
Okay. Oh God. All right. LSU NC State. I was in the booth for this one, so I'll just kick this one off. It was a
See, I
really
did
good
not
game.
watch this game.
Yeah, it was a
I
really
was at
good game.
football tonight,
Yeah.
so I didn't get a chance to watch the games live. This
Yeah.
felt like the game if I wasn't going to go back and look at.
Yeah.
Respect
think
for
I-
both teams.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think this is just you do what you have to do. I
Right.
mean,
LSU, NC State. LSU is going to be a solid team. NC State, I think they're going to be on that question, like all respect to Pack. I think with where they're at currently, the question is, do they win a game this season? I haven't seen their schedule in full, so I don't know. But
I'm going to go look at what their
I'm
their
pretty
conference
sure
looks like.
they only have 14 of 24. No.
They don't have a full roster. They have 4 receivers on the roster. They don't have a full linebacker room.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't think they have a full defensive line room. They have
And-
a really tough out conference schedule.
Yeah. They did fine. Like, here's the thing. The final score looks a lot worse than what it actually was. It was, for the majority of the first 3 quarters, it was a 1-score game. LSU, of course, they held control, but NC State was always in that will to fight
It was
back.
it was a 13-10 ball game at half.
Gotta give a shout out to Musselman because he had to put the team on his back. He had like 30 carries, I think.
31 carries.
Yeah, and it's one of those
Touched
things.
the ball 36 times.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you know where it's going, you know how to stop it. The best team or the best player on that team got the ball. What they wanted, however, LSU knew exactly what they wanted and just took advantage of it. It's that simple.
Do you know what this reminds me of?
What's that?
Season 24 Notre Dame.
Yeah.
you know, I wasn't
This
gonna
is-
say it, but now that you bring it up, I was gonna say, are they on that Notre Dame timeline? They gotta go 0-8 to start the rebuild, bro.
Mm-hmm.
So here's what I'm gonna say. You have your freshman running back who you're building your team around. You
have
have
their MD.
you have your junior quarterback who had a great year 1, did not have a great year last season after an 0-8 season. Sound familiar? A Hall of Fame AD returning,
Mm-hmm.
and you're having to rebuild to the draft.
Yeah.
Your one recruit being your running back. This is just copy and paste Notre Dame season 24.
It is.
With some better talent, I'd say. Your defense
Now-
is a little better.
I haven't had a chance to ask him. And we obviously know how this worked out with Wookie because his first draft was very vital to where y'all are at right now. I really want to gauge where Pack is at because when he was an AD last, the draft wasn't a thing. You could recruit 3 stars. Like he's OG, right? He was here from season 1 to season 13, I believe. So he's got
Yes.
like the I'm not gonna say old school because I won't say that he doesn't know what he's doing now because he absolutely does. But the league has also changed so much since he was last an AD that um that he has to catch up.
Mm.
And I don't know how involved he was at Penn State in their draft process when he was there last season and before. So I don't know how much of the draft he was familiar with.
I think I think their thing is just long-term buy-in for them.
Right. And I don't know what the locker room looks like there either. I could be
No.
saying all the wrong things right now.
Yeah,
But
my assumption is he probably has a good understanding of it, just because I don't think he'd take on a job he doesn't think that he's suited for.
right.
Uh,
I
but
think if that locker room is halfway decent, I think he'll know exactly where to go next with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
and I think every year that he gets the opportunity to seek out more guys to believe in his mission and his goal,
Yeah.
they'll be fine. I just think it's going to be a trial of fire rather than a trail of fire
Yeah.
for a season of like you just don't have the amount of players that these other teams have.
Do they play West Virginia?
Yeah.
We're just gonna throw them a little bit.
It's
I don't believe
crazy.
so. Next week they play Florida.
I looked at my phone. This is crazy. I got 3 back-to-back Facebook or 1 notification, 3 back-to-back that Ware and Beard both sent me friend requests on Facebook reminding me of that. I gotta accept those
See if
right
I can
now.
find NC State's schedule real quick. That conference plays tough. Like I will say, if they're gonna get a win, I will say it has to come in OFC.
Yeah. So that's the recap. I don't know how long it's been. Obviously, you'll see the little timer, whatever.
It's long.
We still got a little
It was
bit
a long
more
recap.
to do. None of them will take as long as what we just did right now. Now we move on to players of the week. How we do this is we don't do the ones that make the ballot. We talk about the ones that won't make the ballot, but if underrated, let's just say underrated. I would say if everybody else didn't
The
make the ballot, why they would be
the
there.
sleeper ballers.
Yeah. And we've already talked about a couple earlier. I'm gonna let y'all go first.
I'll say
You,
mine real quick.
Yeah.
Jalen Whittaker gets a South shout. We've talked about him a decent amount. He balled out. I'm also going to give credit to Austin Travis, Notre Dame corner. Had his first career pick. It was for 6. Both
Yeah.
3 stars who balled out.
Cool. Also, like, what? Since you talked about Austin Travis, let's give our one that isn't on our team, and then shout out someone from our team as well, just cause. Austin, do you want to go or do you want me to go?
yeah, I'll go. I had already talked about him a little bit, but I was gonna do Nicholas Francis from Clemson. Uh, like I said, he had the 3 pass deflections. He's a 4-star. 3 pass deflections was he had 5 a total for last year. So to have 3 in one game is impressive. An interception, and for those to be some of the things that helped the comeback is, I think, pretty awesome for him. Um, and I know you said one for our team. Uh, like I said earlier, I just don't know that there was a lot of statistical like things that really stood out to me. Um, but I think you always have to shout out Renee Smith, even if the numbers don't say it. She's Renee
That's
Smith.
yeah,
So
no, that's
Yeah.
that's a valid. Saying Renee Smith's a monster is always going to be a correct answer.
Yeah, you don't like it'll get to the point where we don't even have to say it anymore just because we all know. Like it's
yeah,
in the back of everybody's mind.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
exactly,
For me,
exactly.
the recency bias because this literally happened like 5 hours ago. Um, to us. Chip Lucky. He is not the primary back for LSU. He had 5 carries for 30 yards, but that's not where he did the best. He did the best as a receiver. He had 7 catches for 91 yards and a touchdown.
Oh,
He did
damn,
really
okay.
good on screens. And there was one play where NC State sent an all-out blitz, and he was the sit-down route guy. Now, it wasn't an easy sit-down route. Yeah, he was wide open, but he's 5'7" and 165 pounds or whatever. Dude weighs less than my arm, but um, he broke one tackle and had a huge gain. Really kind of, I want to say, put the nail in the coffin for NC State. And then one guy from my team, I shouted him out earlier, but I'm gonna shout him out again. Tyler Woodson, 3-star corner. Again, not a lot of action just because of the scheme we play. Strong safety 2 is prioritized over corner 3. So he doesn't get a lot of action. You're not going to see number 21 on the field a lot in that first game. But every time he was out there, he made an impact. He got that interception. Kind of like a game sealer, if you will. Actually, that was the interception that almost caused the mercy rule that we just couldn't finish out. But I mean, he
Only
did a great job.
48.
Yeah, only 48. Yeah, he had a great game, and see how quick that was, guys. That took us like
As you
what?
said, this next one should also be
It took us
fast
what,
too.
like 4 minutes?
Maybe, if
All
that.
right. Now that we're done with players of the week, let's talk about team of the week. So nobody ever does this. I don't think it's happened on the RC party. I don't think it's happened on the Inside Blitz. Which team had the best performance this week? You can value it a bunch of different ways. Now, I'm not going to say Bama because I will say that I expected this. You expected this. So you can value it as who did way better than expected or who just did the best in your eyes. However you want to value it. Who's going first?
Did he take
Uh,
this one first?
no, I wanna wait to see what you guys say, so I don't say the same thing.
Hmm. Caleb, you go
You
first.
want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You.
Florida. Florida. It has to be for me, Florida. Yeah,
Kinda what I
right.
was going for.
I had a backup pick too for Florida if I didn't go first.
Okay.
But I think what Florida did this week, like I said, I wasn't high on Florida. I also wasn't low. But I think the performance they had was just exceptional, frankly. I think what they were able to do offensively, the Missouri Buck's a weapon if you know how to use it, and we know Adam knows how to use it. I think that's just a marquee win for them early in the year as they build into a conference play and a competitive. I'm double checking what comments in real quick. That's in a conference where they need to win every game they can early because you have to run into Auburn, both the Texases and Bama. You need to pick up every win you can early.
Mm-hmm. All right. Do you want to go or do you want me to go?
I wanna go actually now because he didn't take who I was gonna take. Okay. My pick is gonna be Clemson. And my pick is Clemson because honestly, like Clemson was the best looking team because even if you take the first 2 quarters where they're down so much, like I think they can obviously learn from that. But not only do they learn from that, they pull out a win in this game, which is the big thing. Obviously, showing that they're not giving up, which is very important.
Mm-hmm.
2, they've got a new quarterback who comes out, throws 440 yards and 5 touchdowns. I mean, you love to see it. And their running back runs for 19 yards and 19 carries 71 yards. That's an all around performance if I've ever seen one. Um, Defense looked great. It's not like these high scoring numbers like you see from the Florida games. Not that 35's not a lot, but
They
there was
still
a
gave
bunch.
up 35 in the first half.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. It's true. It's true. But then they dropped two donuts. So you see more donuts. You don't allow a lot of points. Um, so I just think if you could only pick two quarters, I think Clemson had the best by far, but also the worst by far. So you No,
That's a really good way to put it too. And that's where I got my pick from. I'm going with it's convenient y'all left me with this one. I'm going with Auburn. And they didn't light up the scoreboard by any means. The quarterback play in that game overall wasn't the greatest. Like Bo Mayweather, great quarterback, probably going to be a finalist for OPOY again. But he didn't show it this week. Neither did Mosley. I think they both played great games. I think not great games. I think they both played solid games. Quarterbacks did. Um, but USC was going into that game looking so much better. My expectation for them was so much higher. And I expected them to win that game, and they were doing that for a long period of time, just like Clemson. But Auburn slowly stormed back, and they didn't need great QB play to do it. And that's what kind of put them over for me, is just the way that, they I'm pretty sure the turnover differential was in favor of USC, right? Or was it the same? If anybody can pull that for me real quick.
turnover differential was for USC. It was
So
2 to
yeah,
1.
it's like
Or
USC won the turnover battle, right?
yes, I believe so.
They won the
Yeah.
turnover battle. Mosley
No,
didn't
no,
play
no.
the greatest game. Oh,
1 interception, 2 fumbles. Zacchaeus Mosley, 1 interception. Okay, sorry. No, no. Auburn had 1 turnover to
okay.
USC's 2 turnovers.
Either way, it wasn't great quarterback play. And they were still able to fight back into it. Usually when you're mounting a comeback, you're seeing all of these quarterback stats just fly on the stat sheet, right? I don't think it was that way for Mosley. Like for example,
And
like how did Bobby Dale do today?
6 touchdowns, 3
6 touchdowns, 2
interceptions,
interceptions.
What did that look like in going into the second half?
3
Prob
touchdowns, probably. I know
Probably
he
not half
he was
that.
4 and 3 at a certain time,
Right.
and then he
He ended at six. He ended at 6 touchdowns, 3 picks, which 3 picks seems like a lot, but the 6 touchdowns
At
is like,
half,
whoa.
at most, he had 1 touchdown entering half.
Okay, so there you go. Like the quarterback play wasn't great from Auburn.
yeah, Bo Mayweather, sorry, rather, fumbled twice,
Yeah.
including a pick.
Please do that week 3. Please do that week 3.
No, but their defense stood tall. Cease Miller had the pick six. I was really watching Jay because even though I don't think Jay likes me much anymore because he's at Auburn now, I really want him to do good. Like, here's the thing, Jay plays into the bit a lot. Like, Jay and Beard were at each other's necks all season last season, and now they're teammates. So
You could just tell that guy's from Alabama, man.
yeah, yeah. But Auburn, not exceptional quarterback play, but they still mounted a comeback in a good way. And then also you're beating a team that I had, like I said it last week, USC is the team to beat.
And Auburn went out and did it.
And Auburn did it. It's week 1, but at the same time, Jacob prior to this week had only lost 1 game in week 1, and that was last season. So I think his track record in week 1 is enough to look at and say Auburn did way better than I expected. And that's the way I kind of looked at it. It was between them, A&M, Florida, and then Clemson. You guys took those off my hands.
Yeah,
A&M,
there's so many good teams this week.
yeah. And then I'd said if USC wasn't the number 1 contender, Colorado would be. And A&M, I gotta give a shout out to them for, just completely ruining my statement. All right. So we got team of the week out of the way. Now
Q&A.
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 Alrighty. Let's
So
go.
I have the form pulled up. I'm gonna jump around, not in order of the questions, because some questions will have quicker answers.
Yeah.
I'm gonna start off with the team focused questions.
Okay.
Shout out Adam at Florida. He asked a simple question: how about them Gators? And I have glazed the Gators, and all I gotta say is,
I can't do it.
I'm all.
They're in my conference, and I just did it.
I love. I said I'm all here. I'm here. I will. Unless Notre Dame's game, I probably won't miss a Florida game because this Florida team's gonna be fun.
It will be. Like, Florida will be, I won't say a great team. Florida will be a solid team. Right?
This might be a crazy shout. I don't really think that it is. Florida, I'm almost 100% certain will mercy rule next game.
Ooh, that's a hot take.
Is it?
They play NC State. It's a thinker. All right,
Okay.
next question.
I
The
don't
Nightlight
hate that.
Party.
That's what we need here.
The Nightlight Party. Y'all glazed about Penn State buildings back, acting like Clemson did it, and you want to apologize.
Okay, so this is for us
Austin,
too.
this doesn't affect you.
Yeah.
Austin, this don't affect you, buddy.
Wait. Go back. What was the question?
Y'all glazed Penn State, building back better, but acted like Clemson didn't. Want to apologize.
No, I think that's fair for me. And no, it wasn't publicized, but I think it was fair of me. I also said the same thing. So
I will say, and I don't remember exactly. I didn't criticize Clemson's offseason. I don't believe. Well,
I don't think so. I would say I don't think I said anything
I
bad
don't
about
think
Clemson's offseason. I just think I
negatively.
said everything
I
good.
will say this team was. I think Clemson played better than I did. I love the resiliency they showed. Like, I will give Clemson a lot of credit. I'm still team fuck Clemson, Notre Dame, Clemson rivalry, of course. But I think Clemson showed they're better than I think a lot of people honestly were going to give them credit for against Penn State, because Penn State was a decent favorite here.
Yeah, I'm not gonna walk it back, but I don't think I ever said that that Clemson didn't recruit well. I just was really focused on the fact that
they
Penn
were
State.
overshadowed.
Yeah, I overshadowed them with Penn State, and for that I will apologize
Yep.
for it. Clemson 100% earned their keep there, and they will be
Absolutely.
talked about a lot more
I will
here.
absolutely give them their respect.
Yeah, I will give you the respect of them being overshadowed in my view. So yeah, and they definitely didn't deserve that. They shut me up for sure.
From Baker Jordan.
Mhm.
Who we named our best team of the week. Play team of the week. Who is the worst team of the week for us?
Worst team.
I know it's an interesting one. I will rip the Band-Aid off. I think NC State struggled this week. I think I have to give it to NC. I have no doubt in NC State bouncing back. But I think I think this was a good matchup for NC State to kick off the season with. I think they played a great first half, but they didn't carry, like a lot of teams didn't carry it, but they didn't have the first half to give them the credit for the whole game.
I have to go with Michigan. Like,
that's the obvious pick.
The 6 turnovers is just too like, it's one thing to be down that much. It's another thing when you kind of dig your own grave with 6 turnovers. Like, you're not winning. I dare to say you're not winning a single football game with 6 turnovers. I don't think you can. It's just too big of a deficit to overcome.
I don't want to say Michigan. I really don't. I also don't want to say NC State because you did. But I think I would be lying if I said it wasn't NC State. Because at least with Michigan, there's circumstances there that led to that.
That's what it was, is
Yeah.
literally that.
Yeah.
And, you know, I think It's the same thing for both of them, except Bama ended up with more points than LSU did. So they both started off really good going into the half, solid game. Could have went either way. But then you started to see them separate. Here's why I'm going with NC State is because they got stagnant, and the team that they were playing is all respect to Trips, is a little bit of a drop off in 6-7. A drop off in talent, I guess. I don't know how to
I
put it.
definitely say LSU is a better team than Alabama. Yeah, that's what you're saying, right?
No.
No, I'm joking. I'm joking.
Yeah,
I'm
like
joking.
this is the part of me that hates talking about this.
No. It's
Is
true. It's
I
true.
don't I
Yeah.
don't I don't want to sound full of myself,
No, it's true. It's true.
Like I don't want to sound full of myself. I like because
It's
I would
true.
rather somebody else say it.
It'd
But
be a more impressive win for Michigan to beat y'all than it would be for NC State to to beat LSU. That's all you have to say.
yeah, like
Yes.
I just hate talking about my own team because I feel so egocentric whenever I do it. When I try my best
No, that's
not to
fair.
be that at all. But I think that
The truth isn't egotistical. Don't worry.
but I don't want to be like, you know what I mean. I don't want to be like, man, I ain't trying to have an ego. That's just the truth because that makes you sound like you have an ego even more. But like I said, I'd rather you guys
Yeah.
say it than me. Yeah, so I think I am gonna go with NC State. I do think they have a lot of room to improve. I do think that um them being at rock bottom means that there's a level above that they'll hit at some point. And I can slowly see the progression go through. Cause like you guys had a really good game against Virginia Tech in your 0-8 season. You had a really good game against Tennessee in your 0-8 season. You had a few close
It's a
games in
progression.
there. Yeah.
It's a progression. It's about a progression, not about doing it all at once.
NC State's gonna have that point where they build their team a little bit better than where it's at right now, and they're gonna compete. They might even win a couple of games. We'll see. I don't expect them to win one. I don't remember what their schedule looks like,
Yeah,
but
I wouldn't.
they're gonna compete. They're gonna compete in some of these games, and for the most part, they competed with LSU. It's just that gap widened as the game went further on. All right.
LSU picked it up and NC State lost it.
Yeah. Next question.
Next question from good friend Shaggy McMuffins. This is a fun one.
Mm-hmm.
Who do you think will be more annoying if they won a natty? Nico or Baby Horns?
Nico.
I think it's Horns.
Well, okay. I'd have to think about this.
Horns.
I think it's Horns.
And it's in a good way because I love the annoyingness of like again,
Yes.
with Flash, a lot of people don't see it. He has really good intentions. He's just really competitive. With Horns, most people see it. Most people understand that everything that he does is out of good fun. We said this last week. If USC won and we picked Auburn, or if USC
Yeah,
won and we
that's
picked
right.
Auburn, he was going to clip us. There will be a point this season where we pick against USC and they absolutely like do us dirty, and he's going to clip us.
Yes.
It's not annoying in a bad way. It is annoying in a good way.
I guarantee you there's a chance it's next week.
It could be, yeah. But
Hey,
if you give Horns a natty, he does this for regular season games. Give him a natty, he's running to the bank with that.
Oh my lord.
yeah, I want to take
Easy.
this time to shout out Jackson Montgomery, the best bench player in the CFSL.
By the way, it's insane how he's a bench player. Is he a bench player?
No.
I don't think he actually
No,
is.
but he just doesn't
I'm
do
joking.
shit.
Yeah.
He doesn't do shit.
I love that one.
He is quite literally he's the Benwood archetype. He quite literally is there to just fill space on the field.
Pretty big space to fill, man. And that's coming from a big
Yeah,
guy.
I was gonna say he fills a lot of space.
I would say
Hey,
He absorbs offensive linemen.
look, I am the B gap. All right.
But he got two tackles at least this game. So I'm sure, no TFLs, no sacks. I don't know what he's really doing, but
Cardio.
good job.
Cardio.
He needs it.
Yeah, yeah, he does.
I'm not the
Three,
one to be saying this, bro. Look at me.
dude. He's literally
Uh,
he's literally 5 pounds away from being the number 4. Like that's insane.
You wanna know what's crazy?
the
I just
next,
thought of this in the back of my mind. If you gave me Horns player and gave Horns my player, it would literally just be us.
Yeah.
Horns is Mateo and I'm Montgomery.
the next question
Actually, I'm not that tall.
from former number 1 pick Vivek. What's everyone's favorite part of recruiting? P.S. Austen, I'm still mad about Valdez.
Did he actually
Right?
put that in there?
You can look at the form right now.
Hold on.
You pull up the form.
My favorite part is right after he said he was going to go here, he moved up to 5-star. So that always felt super good.
Did say that.
Yes. No, my favorite part of recruiting will always be letting that first one. Letting your first recruit of
good
your
one.
class is absolutely a different feeling. Because that's how you start a chain. That's how we knew, is landing your first recruit. Like we got 2 guys early, but we were very confident in getting those 2. But getting those guys who just start a chain is something different.
Yeah. How was it season 24? Season 25. How was the recruiting there? Sorry. No.
The energy was there for about an hour. The energy was there for about an hour.
You don't want my answer.
No, my favorite
What's
part of
your answer?
recruiting. I'm sorry, Valente.
Oh, my answer about how season 25 went. That's what I meant.
No. Oh, well.
My favorite part about recruiting though is like there's always new guys and then there's always guys that I've never talked to before. So my favorite part about recruiting in general,
Absolutely.
I'll answer this in 2 ways: moments and my favorite part about recruiting. Period. My favorite part about recruiting. Period is meeting people, getting to have conversations with them. There's 2 guys specifically that I've talked to and didn't land in that season 25 class that I will remember those conversations with forever. Venom and Johnny. Both of them went their separate ways. Both of them went to Virginia Tech, Tennessee. Venom's AD of Oregon now. We had really good conversations there. There's a lot of others too. Like getting to know people that I had never got the chance to either recruit before or just didn't know like overall. Just being so new to the thing. I'm sure that part will fade away for all of the older guys for eventually because I'm getting to the point where I'm knowing a lot of people that are at least have been around. But just being able to talk to a bunch of people, get a whole weekend where you can just sit, talk to people, because, and again, like I said last week, there's 20 other people you could probably get on here to say this, to give better recruiting advice. Mine is always try and build a genuine connection with the person you're talking to, because I think they would much rather, first of all, if you're a winning team, you're gonna attract a new guy anyway. But if you're a winning team and you can build that brotherly bond just with you and that guy before he gets into your locker room, that can be a huge culture shift.
I do think the secret is with the newer guys, winning teams always have more success.
Mm-hmm.
With the guys who've been around, it's not about how your team has been, it's about the relationship you build.
Mm-hmm. And my favorite moment I've ever had in recruiting was landing Cooper freaking King. Okay.
I remember you were hyped. I remember
We
how hyped you
landed
were.
7 recruits in that class last season. And all love to every single one of them, right? All love to Dion, all love to Arvell, all love to Trayvon, Dez, Lila,
AJ.
I can't
Nope,
remember.
not Jay.
No, Jay was
Jay
there
was there.
already. Jay was the one I was super hyped to keep because he was a little jumpy about transferring, just because I was his third AD in 3 seasons. So, everyone else too, and including Pyro, the 3-star, who's still a 3-star on my team. There's I can brag about them all day, but the one that I've never let go, the first recruit I ever landed was the GT quarterback. And you could ask Dakota. Dakota's my HC right now. I talk about that probably more than anything in this league. Yeah, that's my favorite moment I've ever had. Do y'all want to answer it that way too?
I'm not gonna give moment.
Okay.
I will answer, and it really kind of piggybacks off yours. Is like, especially for a newer guy, 2 seasons in, like getting to know the people. Even if they don't end up going to my school, getting to talk to them outside, like knowing who they are as a person, not necessarily as a recruit.
Mm-hmm.
Like being able to talk to them in league chat and all that stuff. Like it's really cool to be able to kind of it being the reason being to try to recruit them, but end up actually receiving something in return is always pretty cool.
Yeah, it is really cool. Next question.
Next question, we're gonna go to the Austen questions.
Okay. One of them's directed at you.
As you said, that's the one we're gonna do first. Austin asked, if I could inherit any team right now other than USC, what team would it be to be an AD? Do y'all have a guess on my answer?
I
I
didn't
have a
even
guess.
realize. I didn't even realize that I put these questions. Okay, all
Yeah,
right.
it was it was a week ago. We put this
Okay.
out a week
It was a
ago.
week
You
ago,
were pretty
dog.
quick with it. My guess, other than Notre Dame, because you would take over Notre Dame in a heartbeat if Wookie stepped
Absolutely.
down. You told me that it was USC or not USC, Nebraska. Sorry, obviously Nebraska got turned into TCU. Now, I think it would be Colorado.
Is that ridiculous?
Austin, you have a guess?
It's just because of proximity, by the way. He lives in Colorado.
I think. I don't know. I think okay, so like I said, I'm inheriting this team, so I'm getting all the players and stuff. I think you have to go Georgia. I think you
Okay.
have to go.
Before we go,
Ooh.
I already know how wrong I am, but I'll know exactly when you say it because the look you gave me whenever I said Colorado, I know who it is. But go ahead. What's the answer?
I want you to take another guess. No,
It's-
take another guess. Who do you think?
It's Oregon.
So so for context and why Valente said Oregon, I'm an Oregon fan.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm an
okay.
Oregon fan.
Mariota.
That's why
Mariota.
Valente said that. Mariota. Here's the answer. I don't have a preference. I think getting an 80 job in the CFSL is a great honor already, no matter the team. I know that's the very PR answer. It's also you don't know where teams are going to be when I apply. At the end of the day, it's not a guarantee I apply at the end of the year, right? I'm never going to say that. There's so many things going on in my life right now where one day, yes, my goal is to be an AD.
Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of moving pieces. So trying to put myself in a spot where I'm publicly saying, hey, this is the team I want, that's not, first off, not smart as far as what to do. But also, I genuinely don't care because Valente can confirm this too. AD spots are a premium, not a guarantee.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And I want to be wherever I can help this league most the day it comes. Again, that's could be end of season. That could be a year from now in real time, right?
Yeah.
It's
Right.
what's going on, and am I in a spot where I have the ability to commit to?
Hey Mike, hey Travis, hey anybody on the AD panel that interviewed me or anybody else, I hope you're listening because by God, that was the best answer I've ever heard. No, and like when I got done with my AD interview, Ryan told me like, they obviously they're skeptical about your age. I'm 20, by the way. I turned 21 in 3 months. I'm the youngest AD in the boardroom by at least 5 years. I think the second youngest is D. I think D's 25, but I'm not the youngest AD they've ever had, and that is a lot of the reason they're skeptical about me is because their young ADs did not work out. I don't think they're skeptical about me anymore. I hope not. I hope I've proven myself in a way of being committed in and out to whatever it is about this league. I feel like that was a lot of the reason I landed this spot in the first place, is because I'd taken the jump, the content, the broadcasting. I was very committed, very available for all of those. And also, like, not to mention Ryan, like, I know Ryan's not around anymore, and Ryan's probably not going to be the most talked about person. But he is a good dude to me, and he is a lot of the reason I am where I'm at right now. Content, broadcasting, he got me into both of those. And he's the reason I'm sitting here doing this podcast with you, Caleb. I wouldn't be as committed to this league as I was if it wasn't for him showing me how good this community is.
Yeah. I will say I am deceptively young.
Yeah. How old do you think Caleb is, Austin?
Austin, how old do you think I am?
I think I'm gonna take a good guess and shoot it for 24.
22.
That would have been my second guess. Dang. What?
22.
Wait.
Turning
Do y'all
22
know how
through
old
next
I am?
year.
You're
I don't know how
22.
old I am. How old do you
21.
think I am? Caleb?
I'm pretty sure you're 23.
I'm 20. I turned 20 in April.
So I want to say this. I thought it was 20, but I'm like, wait, he's married. He could also, that could be older. I wasn't sure for sure.
Yeah. No,
I was like, I'd rather guess older than lower here.
That's
Yeah.
fair. It's fair.
So some people take that as an insult. It's like, hey, you're 30. Actually, I'm 23.
Like the other question, Austin. Austin, do you remember the other question you asked?
I only asked
I
two
want you.
questions.
I want you to answer this one too. Yeah.
No, what
Your
is it?
question was, if you could take any player, past or present, on your roster right now and put them on your roster right now, who would you take? So for clarification, is this in your team's history or any player all time?
Any player all time.
I know my answer. But Valente's thinking.
Current like to put on the current roster.
On
Correct.
what your team is right now.
Okay.
Want me to say mine as y'all think?
Yeah.
So I am keeping this in the modern era.
Okay.
Because I think that's only fair. It's a modern era player in the modern era. I'm not saying that just because, but I think like a steroid player in the modern era would be absolutely broken.
Mm-hmm.
My answer is Roman Ware.
Fuck.
is that your answer?
It was at the top of my mind.
So, obviously, corners are premium in this league.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think anyone will ever say adding a corner is painful. If I'm not mistaken, Roman Ware is also a generational talent corner.
No.
No, wasn't GT? I can remember for a fact.
I don't think so.
But
I want to say
double
he
check.
was just a 5-star. I don't think Ware's ever had a GT player.
I'm looking real quick. But he's a former defensive player of the year.
Mm-hmm.
He's, has done a lot in his career. Did a lot in his career as well. Nope, it was not a GT, sorry. But
Yeah.
Roman Ware was just an absolute monster. That's all Ware makes is monsters, and I think that's a corner that could really take Notre Dame to another level.
Well, I was
You
gonna
can
go
copy
with
my
Roman
answer, I
Ware.
don't care.
I was gonna go with Roman Ware.
I can think of another great corner I take from the modern era, if you need one.
I want it to be a corner. Because while we're
Want me to
really
give you an
deep at
suggestion?
corner, like we're really
You
deep
don't
at
have a
corner.
one.
We don't have a one. We don't have a solid.
Can I give you a name?
Lila Moreland is solid, but Lila Moreland would be much better as the 2 rather than the 1. All due respect.
Can I give you a name suggestion?
Sure.
CFSL all-time great name, Chewy Baca.
Chewy Baca's a good one. Chili Sierra.
Austin's like, who is this? Chili Sierra's a good one. Austin is so
Sierra.
confused.
You know, I don't want to say my own player, but Valente Martinez was pretty solid.
Dog, he's not even top 10 in the modern era.
He's
you could
not
go
anymore.
current. You could take a Grayson James or a Cease Miller or a Zach Workman.
It's crazy. You take Cease Miller. I mean, he's in the league still.
Yeah, and Cease is a great player, dude.
But he's a dog. He's
Um,
top 10 in interception yards. He's in all time for interception yards. He's gonna be top 10 in modern era picks, potentially number one.
Yeah.
Like Cease is not a bad shout.
Cease. Oh, smacked the shit out of my mouse. Cease or Chili Sierra.
Chili Sierra's a good pick.
One or the other.
Or you can go, Tank Golden.
I think I want to. Nah, I think I'm gonna go Chili Sierra just because he's like fully retired and Cease is still playing. We'll go Chili Sierra.
Austen, I'm guessing yours is going to be a current player. That's just a guess based off the fact that you're not
You are newer,
but unless you found a guy you like historically.
Yeah, I think if I was going for like a position like quarterback, and that's not necessarily the biggest need on a team that Falcon Chestnut is goated.
If you don't say the name I'm looking at right now, I might. If a quarterback, there's one quarterback you take. And Valente knows who I'm talking about. Yes, if you're taking a quarterback, there's only one option.
What if I take Mateo Del Este?
That's the only option.
That's what I was going for. That's
more than one option. I don't want to say his name because you said his name 30 times. Like obviously the talent is way better than this guy, but the statistical greatness that this guy produced. Oklahoma State quarterback.
Oh no.
Mine
but you look at what Tennessee does. But if you look at the name, what Tennessee does,
yeah,
a Russian heavy quarterback.
You said in the modern era. I personally, if I'm picking
in modern era too,
I'm picking Ryan Moreland. Ryan
Moreland was steroid era.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, but you just said that. You just said his name too.
Yeah. If you're talking about like statistically, Ryan Moreland
staying in the modern era. If you're staying in the modern era, because at the end of the day, a steroid era player in the modern era is not fair.
Right. Yeah. If you're sticking with modern era, Mateo Del Este is 100% the pick.
That's what I was saying.
What other quarterback is going to be top 5 in the modern era for rushing yards? Like
Gunnar Rice.
Nope.
He's not in top 5.
Not top 5.
Did I overrate
the top 5? The top 5 is Taylor James, Thomas Scally, Richard Williams, and Bo Yost.
And then Del Este.
Okay.
Damn. I overrated Gunnar Rice, dude. Gunnar Rice is incredible too, by the way.
And that's not like acting like Del Este can't pass. In his career, he had 12,500 passing yards, 94 touchdowns to 38 interceptions.
Hey,
he just also added 3,600 rushing yards and 50 touchdowns.
If you ever find a way to do it, I don't know Mike and them keep like archives, but if you ever find a way to do it, go back and watch that 10 touchdown game that Gunnar Rice had back in season 20. Incredible.
Oh my god, that Gunnar Rice game was incredible.
Yeah. 10 touchdowns. All right. Next question.
From Trips, would you rather have a top recruit sign with you or draft a couple of 3-stars who buy in? Austin, I want you to answer first because you're the interesting answer.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what buy-in means. Does buy-in mean like they're gonna upgrade to 5-star? What does buy-in mean? Because I think you said a top recruit, like a top recruit.
We will call him a top 5 guy. Like top 10. Because top 5 means you're landing a GT.
The one thing I will say.
No, he said top recruit.
He said the top recruit, the number one guy.
Give me the top recruit. Give me the top recruit.
Okay. All right.
Valente, am I confident to say you and I both have the same answer here?
We do. You're not wrong. You're not wrong because
it's not
everyone has
wrong,
their
is it?
own way of assembling a team. But here's where I stand. I'm 1000% taking the 2 3 stars that buy in. And it depends on what he means by buy in, but if you're talking about 5 stars, ninjas, max overalls, I would much rather have 2 max 5 stars than 1 generational talent.
Yeah. Yeah.
I love
I
like
will.
I love GTs. I think GTs are a perfect way to round out your team, but um I do think that you have a lot better chance of being a more well-rounded team if you have a bunch of well-rounded
Yeah.
players rather
I
than
think
just that
I
one
think
big GT.
Yeah.
I think it also depends on team need for what truly is the better pick. I think in
Yeah.
general, 2 is better than 1, even though GTs are
Yes.
cool. They're not necessarily, they're not worth 2 people, you know what I mean? Um, but the one thing
They
I do
can
like.
be eventually.
Well, right, right, right. But oh my gosh. All right. Anyway, I think in general, for the locker room, if you can get 2 people to buy in, it's way better to keep 2 people, up there, talking with people.
Mhm.
Um, but you know, it just depends. If you don't have a quarterback and you're getting a GT quarterback like that, there's
Oh yeah,
I
no,
think
yeah,
I,
that's a
I
different
think I
feeling.
think Valente knows something about that. It's pretty awesome.
It is
So
awesome.
my answer, as the guy who can, I think, talk most about the impact the draft can have with 3 stars,
Mhm.
is I'm always going to take the buy-in from 3 stars.
Let's use your specific scenario. Would you rather have Virak and Schoolboy or Drew Axis?
I will take Schoolboy and Vyrak. I like Axis. I
Yeah.
mean, look, you get. I will look at Notre Dame as a whole. I've always said historically Notre Dame is the best team at drafting, and I think it just has continued to prove in the history of the 3 star draft, and this is why I stand by the draft. Is the first year we drafted 3 5 stars, 2 of which are ninjas now. Zach Walkman, AA, Kai Rainey, 99 everything linebacker. We have a 5 star DT, and we have now a 4 star receiver from that draft. Technically, he's also from this draft because we drafted him back, but whatever. Last draft, once again, 3 5 stars. We got Vyback, we got Schoolboy, both RCs. You get David Yates. This year we're still waiting to see. You don't instantly see the buy-in,
Yeah.
right? Buy-in's not they get on the team, they buy in.
Right.
But
A lot
like
of
right
people
now,
want to see how
technically
the
we're at
league
a four.
works.
Yes, like right now, technically we're at a 4 star button because once again we got C-Jack back, and C-Jack went to 4 star immediately after the draft because he wants to stay here and doesn't want to risk being in the draft again.
Right.
Like, I think the feeling of the buy-in, and it can also if you don't get that if the top recruits you only recruit, do you consider that a win in recruiting? You see what I mean?
Probably not.
Like you probably don't see it because you only added. It's a big time impact player, but end of the day, I'd rather get 3 4 stars from the draft because those 3 4 stars will make impacts all over than just one guy who's making a huge impact. 3 smaller impacts is bigger than one huge impact.
Yep. Absolutely. Next question.
Oh, that's the last question. So we'll go to
Was
we'll go
it?
to read 2 predictions. Yes, we
Okay.
had 8.
Okay. Okay. Cool.
Yeah,
So
remember we didn't get this format as often as we planned because we weren't certain.
true. Okay.
So we got the format a week ago before week 1,
Yeah.
and got really
No,
late for a lot of
like
people.
I was gonna say there was no like game centered questions unless they put them in tonight, and we sent that out like
I was gonna
10
say we
minutes
got
before we
2.
started. Yeah.
We'll go quick fire for pick predictions. We don't need to
Okay.
talk about the
Yep.
teams too much.
On
Florida, NC State.
on the screen right now, we got the score between me and Caleb. Obviously, through the weeks, we'll have Austen and all the other guests against each other.
Yes.
Kaleb is currently beating me. I don't know by how much because we're recording this
One.
right now.
By one.
By one.
It's by
Okay, so
one.
Caleb's
It's by
beating me
one.
by
We
one.
picked everything the same except for one game.
Yeah, so tight game between us. And
Mhm.
yeah, let's go.
Florida versus NC State.
Florida.
Florida.
Quick
Okay, so
thoughts?
this is this game's just I think Florida is a team that people understand. I think is a team that we slept on a lot walking in, but just we proved it and they're gonna get the respect they earned. I
Yep.
think just from me.
I personally just like as much as I love Florida, I just don't think NC State's where they want to be right now.
I've
No.
already stated. I've already stated what I think about this score of this game.
Okay,
Old
Texas,
Casey Hammer time.
Oklahoma.
Texas,
Texas.
just too much firepower.
Yeah, too much firepower. I think, like I said, I think Oklahoma's on a quality drop off right now. I think that they'll find it out, but I don't think this is the week they find it out. Wrong team, wrong time.
Yes. OSU, USC.
USC. I
USC.
still think OSU's got time to work on their team.
OSU. Ohio State. Ohio State.
Yeah,
Not
that's what I
LSU.
meant. Did it?
I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. I still think OSU has time to
I'm
work
going
on themselves.
USC. I think Ohio State, like I
Yeah.
said, this is a really tough sled for them right now. I do think if there was any other opponent, they would be in a better spot. But USC
I absolutely agree.
USC is way too good not to take here.
Miami, Auburn.
I'm going Auburn.
Auburn.
Damn.
All three of us Auburn.
Yep.
Are you typing these up?
Yes.
Send
Yes.
those when we're done.
It's gonna it's in the group chat.
Okay.
I'm basically next to the schedule putting up picks.
Okay, cool. So yeah, Auburn, really good team. Miami,
Yeah.
also in a really good spot too. The two generational
I think
talents
Miami's defense is gonna be the struggle here.
Yeah, I do think the two generational talents can outscore Auburn. It's just, will it sustain? Can their defense get the stop when they need to?
Yes. UNC Clemson. Yeah, this is the.
Y'all go first.
I think if I want to prove that I think they've proven their validity, I have to take them. I'm gonna take Clemson. I'm gonna ride this wave, see if they really are, be able to beat the great teams.
You know what? I respect the pick, Austen. I respect the pick, but at the end of the day, I'm riding with UNC.
UNC had a great win. Clemson had a great win. Both teams are riding highs. NC State. UNC is a really good team. Clemson, really good team. I'm not taking Clemson, but it is not because I don't believe in them. It's simply because I have more belief in UNC. I'm taking UNC. Clip me.
Yep. LSU versus TAMU. TAMU.
Timu.
Yeah. Just give me Timu.
Yeah, simple as that. Timu. Love trips. Love LSU. Texas A&M proved they are one of the teams to be in LSU. I'm sorry. Good luck, man.
Yes. Oregon, West Virginia. Oregon.
Give me West Virginia.
Oh, I like it. It.
Yeah. I think their offense was just so explosive, and like we were talking about, maybe it's the bad defense, but I just with how stagnant Oregon's offense felt after the first the start. I think if West Virginia gets off to a hot start, they could run away with it.
I agree.
I respect the pick. I absolutely respect the pick.
I said West Virginia is going to win a game this year. I didn't say it was going to be an upset. I didn't say it was going to be something they should win. They're going to win one. I don't care if it's an upset. I don't care if they should have won it. It could be this game. I would not be surprised.
I'm here for it. Okay, TCU, Michigan.
Michigan.
Go ahead, Austin. I'll
Okay.
let you go first.
I've talked about Dre Money so much. Michigan. I still think TCU has to prove that this was real and it wasn't um, a
Week
fluke,
one.
or that. Yeah, it wasn't week one exactly. I really like Dre Money and the way he played week one, but like I said, I just don't know that it ends up being that way
I'm
again.
I'm also Michigan. I think Michigan's going to bounce back at a high level, and I think TCU needs another week to prove themselves. To me, Georgia, Michigan State. Yeah,
This is look,
it's another mega.
this
I was gonna
gap right
say I
here.
saved. I was gonna say the last 4 games are like. I purposely skipped one in our list because I think that game is gonna be split. I will kick us off.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna rock with Michigan State.
Yeah, I'm going with the same thing. I like the opposite of TCU, where I don't know if they could do it twice. I just don't think MSU is going to sell 2 games this quick. I think they're gonna get this turned around, and not that Georgia's a bad team. We've already talked about what Georgia can do, but to see Seth Chapman play the way he did, I think there's got to be there's like a leveling factor, and that
Yes.
has to have a bad game to make it in the middle.
Yeah. Man, I wanted y'all to go first so I'd have time to think, but y'all's answers did not make that any easier.
Why? Because you wanted to go Georgia.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm
Also,
telling you.
it
Ooh.
doesn't help that no one gave me any reason not to pick Michigan State. Like, cause Michigan State, man, like I could say a lot of things about what Iowa was and what Michigan State is now. I can say a lot of things about what I think what I think Georgia is now. But all I know is that you got two really good prospective ADs right there who really need to make the most of this opportunity. If Georgia wins, they're in a really good spot. All you need is 2 more wins on the season. You got 6 games to do it, and you're not guaranteed a playoff spot, but you're in a really good like area to fight your way into that. Michigan State, you're kind of in a panic, so I think the game. Already know Nick's game planning a shit ton. So if they lose, it will not be because of a lack of effort. It'll be because Georgia's better. I don't know Rob that much. So again, I'm gonna have to ride with my guy Nick at Michigan State. You guys took Michigan State, right?
Yes. Penn State versus Colorado. Yeah.
Hey guys, go first.
It's No, you got this one, dog. We let you go last. We let you go. You go last.
Colorado. Here's why. Here's why. Travis is absolutely okay with being in this position. He knows how to bounce back from it. I think that it will be a lot different. They're not going to blow a lead. I think this is going to be a back and forth game, but I have Colorado taking it. I'm still too high on them.
You know, Austin, you gotta do something fun right here. You gotta break a tie, man, because I'm going Penn State. I think Penn State's roster is perfectly built to play against Colorado. You have an outstanding secondary out at Penn State. You have a lot of guys who can cover, a lot of playmakers. Your front seven at Penn State's great. I think your offense at Penn State's great. I think they had just one bad half of football, but they had an exceptional half along with it. I think Penn State is still really damn good. And I don't think I am getting knocked down. They both had tough losses. One of these teams is going to bounce back.
think
So
I th- yeah, I think Penn State plays great defense, but I think Colorado plays better offense. So I'm going Colorado here. I don't know that Colorado can hold. I mean that PSU can hold Colorado, and I think not that who did Colorado play? Not that Texas A&M lucked out, but like I said, you look at every metric, they were ahead. I don't think Colorado ruins that moment again. I think when they get in the red zone, they're gonna go crazy, and I think Colorado's gonna take it.
yeah, yeah. FSU versus Tennessee. I will kick it off so Austen doesn't have to say Tennessee immediately. I'm also going Tennessee.
Tennessee. I don't think
Wow.
Mr. 100
What's
comes for Green yet.
your final verdict?
So I'll be honest. Even as a Tennessee player, it's hard. Like I was saying earlier, to go against Florida State. Um, there is an unknown with this new playbook. It's an old playbook, but it's new, as in like it's just being reintroduced. Um, so I wouldn't say it's a no doubt win, especially with Grin and the way he plays. But um, I'm encouraged by the change in the playbook. I'm hoping that really shows. So yeah, I'll take Tennessee.
Now, Austen.
Hold on. I also think like that change in playbook really could be the factor of making Tennessee win this game, because now Florida State has
Yes.
nothing to go off of. You have old game
I
footage with a
think-
completely different team.
I think that book is such a great book for what y'all are doing. So that's what I think.
All right.
Am I gonna have
Ready,
to break a
Austin?
tie now?
Notre Dame versus Alabama.
All right, whose heart do I break?
I'm gonna shock the world here. I'm picking Notre Dame. Valente, who are you picking? I wonder.
Line me up against the 07 Patriots. I don't give a damn. Roll Tide every damn day to the second that I die. Line us up against the 85 Bears, the 07 Patriots, the 72 Dolphins, anybody. I'm picking us every single time.
Yeah, bro. I'm.
But
Let me
okay,
get it.
here's one. Season 25 Tennessee in the playoffs. You want to line up against it?
But hey, but did I pick against us though?
Shut up. I have to see that game.
That's great, dude. No, I think Notre Dame's on the rise. Notre Dame's building year by year. And technically, I mean, Alabama is too, if you look at it. Um,
We both
I think
overachieved.
I think
Oh yeah.
the difference is I think it's just the established offense that Alabama has. I just think that Notre Dame is still not entirely a known quantity. Alabama is building on what they had last year, and we knew that was really really impressive. So I'm gonna have to break Caleb's heart. And I'm gonna have to pick Alabama.
I had it typed in before you said it. I based off how you started to talk, I had a feeling.
Just
I respect the pick. You're now ranked my least favorite guest, just so you know.
Damn, he's the only one that's been on. Do we got any more?
No.
all right.
That's the last game, man.
Yeah, well, now he's your least favorite guest. Let's see if he can remain at the top of the guest pickers leaderboard.
Hey, man.
I sure hope so, because
Pressure.
I went against the grain for a couple of these, so I might end up the worst.
You definitely did.
Yeah, that West Virginia pick is gonna do
Damage.
that.
It's
That
either
could
gonna
that,
set you
that
above
could
everyone.
either That could either
For
turn
me, that's
you
gonna make or
into-
break you.
Yeah, that will.
Yeah.
Like you 100% expect that to go the wrong way, but you're not surprised if it works in your favor either.
I either have
Absolutely.
elite ball knowledge or I should never be on a podcast again.
That's
Let's hold on. Let's
that's
put
the
this
shocking
energy out
mushy
there.
rule.
Okay, let's put this energy out there for the playoffs. I know not everyone's gonna be down for it, but me and you, Caleb, I'd like to sit down with as many ADs going into round 1 as we can on one episode.
Ooh.
That'd be pretty cool.
If we could make it happen, if anybody's watching this that might want to be down for that. I know the scheduling is going to be insanely hard to do, by the way.
Oh,
because you got to get
Max.
14
Dog,
or not 14.
I have heard how disgusting it is to get those AD meetings scheduled. Like I've heard that sometimes that is tragic.
No, it's not that they're hard to schedule.
Really?
Sometimes guys aren't there.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you know,
So-
life comes first, obviously. So if
Absolutely.
guys can't be here for this, you know, we could hit up their AAC. Maybe.
Yo, Johnny.
Yo, Johnny. I think Ware would be down. I just think we would have to 100% set up a time that works like for everybody, and that's the hard part. Anyway,
Where said he loves podcasts?
yeah. I mean, Ware, listen up. If you've made it this far, first of all, you're the GOAT.
Shout out, because
I don't know who all's watching right now, but if you've made it to this point, you're the GOAT. We're probably nearing
dog.
that. We're nearing
Where's
3
already
hours
to go?
in.
He doesn't need to make it this far.
Right. We're probably already nearing 3 hours. If we're not crossing
I
the mark.
have a few ideas for us for the future because this is obnoxiously long. I will say.
Yeah.
Like
it is-
I have a few ideas.
It is
We
really
had a lot
hard.
to say. We had a
It's
lot
really
to say.
hard to compress it into a respectable time when the people
I-
that you're talking to
well,
are such a
It's
vibe.
good company.
Yeah, right.
Well, I like you said, I have a few ideas. I mean, it's always trial by fire early until we, you
Yeah.
know, we
Yeah,
have a
you-
script, and the script and it will always adjust based off of. So I
Gotta
have a few
figure out
ideas
what
for
works.
us.
Figure out
Time
what doesn't.
management.
You said-
Like you said, you have to drive in the morning. Other than that, there's not much you got to do. So again, I appreciate
Yeah,
you
I know.
staying.
So thank you.
It's
Yeah, no
4:14
problem.
a.m. Eastern Standard Time. 3.
You said, I
Central,
gotta actually. I did not think we'd be in the issue. I gotta wake up in 5 hours.
2:14 Mountain Time where Caleb's at. 3:14 Central
You
Time.
said, I have a
Where's where.
track meet tomorrow morning. This morning I gotta get to.
Yeah.
I gotta drive an hour at 6:30. So I've got 3 hours. So I'm gonna sleep for 2.5 and then
Well,
get ready.
First, I want to
Uh-huh.
apologize to you for taking this long. I also want to thank you
It's all
for
good.
staying
Yeah,
with
no
us for
problem.
this long. I know we told you we were like, hey,
Absolutely.
this could take 45 minutes. This could take 2 hours.
This could take 2 hours. It took
Yeah.
3.
And that's fine.
Whatever.
I am not looking at the clock yet, but I think we're nearing 3, if not over that. So, Caleb, I know you said you were going to
I
try and
enjoyed
think of an
talking.
intro. Did you?
I will tell you, I was so locked into the episode, I did not think of one. So we're gonna do what I do best and just throw it at the wall and see what happens.
Yep.
Thank you, Austen, of course, coming on for what was an episode I don't think anyone expected to be this long. First off, thank you for being a sport. We told you if we need to condense it down to say something, even if it was just message, you didn't. Salutes off to you for that one, big dog.
No
But
problem.
for anyone around, thank you. For anyone who even just listened in segments, thank you for supporting us. Thank you for listening. And you just got everything around the CFSL. And we'll see you guys next time.